from their own 10. Giants bring 4. Rebound with the strip. There it is. Touchdown. Motion to wide receiver. He fumbled it. He's just trying to drop back and grab it. Scrambling, going, and a picked off. Yes, let's go. 30, 28. He's got a hole up the left side. Barkley's gonna go in for 6. Oh, baby. What an answer for the Giants, baby. Let's fucking go. Doesn't take the snap. Drops back. Giants number 4. Doesn't throw. He's gonna be short of the stick. And the Giants are going to Philadelphia. Up! New York Giant fans!
Yeah. What y'all thought y'all wasn't gonna see us? We in here. You dig? Shout out to the Big Blue Nation. Everybody that's been rocking with them Giants, staying loyal. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Somebody tell them we back, we in the trenches. You see that front D line that got them flinching. Joe, show them the way, handle your business. They don't want to see this weight that we benching. When it comes to the swag, this year's Big Blue. You don't want to see that cold sneezing. Somebody tell them Mars, yeah, they got it right. You see the stadium from the highway, this is MetLife. It's only right that I hit you with this napalm. That Deuce 6 got me feeling like I'm Saquon Barkley. I ain't talking Mr. Sir Charles. That cut back hit the hole when I'm running hard. You see the squad, we back, we in the POs. I'm at the game, so please don't call my PO. That pretty boy Gillette cut, you see my facial. That locker room, I'm dancing like Brian Daigle. This the 8 around here, we call them Danny Dimes. If you ain't seeing what I'm seeing, then you Stevie Blind. This what happens on the field with an old line. That fullback read option, now it's go time. The underdog, Big Blue, tell them we don't bend. Like Adrian told Rocky to just win. I know the haters for real, so they won't choose. We already won the season, so we can't lose. Somebody tell them we back, we in the trenches. You see that front D line that got them flinching. Joe, show them the way, handle your business. They don't want to see this weight that we binging. When it comes to the swag, this year's Big Blue. You don't want to see that cold season. Somebody tell them Mars, yeah, they got it right. You see the stadium from the highway, this is MetLife. National Blue Day, Giant get every Friday. Tell Ice Cube we need another Friday. That's the love around here, we all G-men. Just had to make moves, get rid of Dave, get him in. That front D when it blitz, it'll stain ya. Call Chris, the entertainer. I say we back for long years, a bull run. You know my name, J Boogie, this a blue one. Somebody tell them we back, we in the trenches. You see that front D line that got them flinching. Joe, show them the way, handle your business. They don't want to see this weight that we binging. When it comes to the swag, this year's Big Blue. You don't want to see that cold season. Somebody tell them Mars, yeah, they got it right. You see the stadium from the highway, this is MetLife. Shout out to the office. Shout out to the coaching staff. Shout out to the players. Shout out to the fan base. Everybody rocking with this Big Blue. You know what time it is. Next up is the division. After that, it's the conference. After that, it's the Super Bowl. If you don't like what we're doing, blow the soup off your own Super Bowl.
Stand up! New York Giant fans! Divisional playoffs. The New York Giants today take on the Philadelphia Eagles. This was a Giants team going back to training camp that was left for dead. They already had the burial plot. They already had the burial plot for this Giants team before they even had a preseason game. They already had the casket in the ground. They had the dirt piled on top. Left for dead. Today, this Giants team has an opportunity to go to the NFC Championship. And on top of that, they have an opportunity to go into their house, our arch nemesis, their house, Philadelphia. And we have an opportunity when they had a 14-3 season, when they were crowned the best team in the conference since week 8. We have an opportunity to go into their house and ruin their season. If you're not amped up for today, you're never going to be amped up. Let's go. What's going on, everybody? What's going on there, Boromir, man? What's going on, Timlin? What's going on there, Ty? What's going on there, Little Roberts, man? What's going on there, Ryan Can? Fahad in the chat. Karen in the chat. Thank you guys for being here, man. What's going on there, Ryan Can? What's going on there, Joe? What's going on there, Irish Rover? What's going on there, Jarrell? Thank you to everybody for being here. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Let's go, New York Giants. And Dyer, I saw the thumbs up before. Thank you so much for the super sticker. He says DJ is going to win us this game. We're going to talk about the game. We're going to say hello to everybody in the chat. Thank you guys for being here. I know you guys are as amped up as I am. I cannot wait for tonight's game. Cannot wait. We're going to be live on the channel at probably 7:45. We'll talk all about it today for a couple of hours. Going to have Nicky on. He's been on my channel before, probably at about the 2 o'clock hour, I should say. So looking forward to having him on the channel. Maybe take a couple of video callers. We'll see how it all plays out. But I am super pumped up for this game. Hopefully you guys got an opportunity. Hopefully you guys like the song by Jay Boogie. Was working on that for a while. Wanted to give him a shout out. Gave me a shout out on the song. That was cool. So thank you, Jay Boogie, for that. And hopefully that song takes off because he deserves it. Really, really good job by him. But thank you guys. Thank you to everybody for being here. Appreciate it. Hope you guys are pumped up. Josh says, I am on my way to Philly now from Pittsburgh to go to the game. First game in 10 years and first playoff game. Nervous to wear Giants gear in Philly. Well, you should be. They're disgusting. They're disgusting animals. It's a filthy city with filthy fans. And today, we're going to pluck their wings. Today, the New York Giants are going bird hunting. And enjoy the game today, Josh, man. It should be a great one. Hopefully, the New York Giants come out with a win. I can't wait to see how it all plays out. Hopefully, you have the time of your life, man. Thank you, everybody, for being here. What's going on there, Jeremy, man? What's going on there, Henry? What's going on there, Sedan? NY Giants 26 says, I'm ready to run through a wall. More hype videos. What's going on, man? Hopefully you're pumped up as I am. I know everybody is. Thank you for being here, man. Let's go, New York Giants. I know you guys got an opportunity to watch that Strahan video on Twitter also. That had me, like I said when I retweeted it, that had me ready to run through the Great Wall of China. Thank you for being here. Big Daddy says, my heart says we win. My mind says we lose. And you're right. Your mind should tell you we lose. We're playing a 14-3 team. They're better. Their offensive line's better. Their defensive line's better. But listen, my mind has told me we were going to lose several games this year. And my heart said, Chris, listen to your heart, listen to your heart, listen to your heart. My heart told me we were going to lose against Green Bay when we went to London. My heart told me we were going to lose to the Tennessee Titans opening day on the road with a brand new head coach. My heart told me we were going to lose to the Baltimore Ravens on short rest. My heart told me we were going to lose to, my brain rather, told me we were going to lose to Washington when they had an extra week to prepare and they played nobody but us in their prior game. That's what my heart's told me. My brain told me we were going to lose to a 13-4 Minnesota Vikings team. But this year, my heart's been right a lot more than my brain. And I'm going to start listening to my heart. This New York Giants team has heart. They got a damn good head coach, and he has been prepping for this game for weeks. Make no mistake about it. He fully recognized that the Philadelphia Eagles were more than likely going to be the team we were going to be playing in the second round. Rested the starters the last time we saw them. We've now seen this team twice. And if you don't think Brian Daboll's going to come out with a good game plan tonight, you're fooling yourself. Whether or not it's going to be enough, we're going to find out. But this team is going to be prepared, and they're going to play their ass off. And I can't wait to see the performance. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, Scarecrow? Hopefully I read that right. John May says Snow Angels tonight. Let's go. True Apple says, someone tell him I'm back. Haven't felt like this in a long time. May we get a win today in Jesus' name. Let's go, man. Let's go. I hope we see so many Snow Angels tonight by Kayvon Thibodeau that the link looks like the heavenly gates. I want the link to be surrounded by angels. I want Dexter Lawrence to be doing his sack dance all night. I want to be dancing Saturday Night Fever with Dexter Lawrence tonight. Get the pass rush, get after Jalen Hurts, and test that shoulder. Jason says, I'm so hyped for tonight, tired of losing to these pigeons. What better than to beat them in their own game in advance? O-line must protect Jones, G-men. Listen, that's a key factor in this game because the Giants we've seen the last 4, 5, 6 weeks, the Giants have really opened up this offense, and by doing so, they've added extra responsibility not just to Jones, but the offensive line, right? Because you go back the first 6, 7, 8 weeks, the Giants left Barkley in the block more often than not. The Giants left an extra tight end to help chip at the line of scrimmage. The Giants have been going more spread, right? They've been using Barkley more in the pass game. They've had a lot of four-wide sets. In order to do that, your offensive line has to hold up. And tonight, they're getting the biggest test. I mean, they're going up against a team that had 4 guys with double-digit sacks. They're going up against a team that had 70 combined sacks this year that is rested. So this is a massive test for this offensive line, and we'll see what the plan is coming out. I think the Giants, more than likely, when they do pass, particularly early on in this game, before they're able to establish that run, or hopefully establish that run, it's going to be quick hitters. They're going to have to get the ball out fast because they can't expect Evan Neal to hold up the entire game and not get Daniel Jones absolutely devoured. We'll see if Daniel Jones is able to use his legs as a weapon as well. I have to think the Eagles, after watching last game, are going to spy Jones, I would think, to try to take away that ability, but we'll see. I'm excited to see how the New York Giants respond tonight. And I think it's going to be a cat and mouse game, drive to drive. The Eagles are a team all year that has come out hot out of the gate. This team this year averaged 28.1 points a game. 12.2 of those points are in the second quarter, meaning they only averaged 16.9 in the other 3 quarters combined. In the first half this year, they've averaged almost 18 points a game and about 10 points a game in the second half. So to me, what does that tell me as a Giants fan, knowing that the Giants have been a team that has been a counter-punching team for the majority of this year, meaning we've made adjustments at halftime, and that's where we've played our best football. We're minus 30 in the half for the first, in terms of the plus-minus. We're minus 30 in the first half this year. We're plus 24. The Eagles are only plus 12 in the second half this year. They're plus like 130 in the first half. So as a Giants fan, that tells me get me to the half in a close game. Get me to the half in a one-possession game, hopefully with me starting with the ball in the second half, and I'm going to take my chances. Keep this game close. The Eagles are going to come out of the gates. You know they've been planning for 2 weeks. They're going to try to land the knockout blow early on in this football game. The New York Giants are going to have to be strong. And last week, they proved that they could overcome some adversity. You think back to last week, Jason, what happened? First drive, Minnesota Vikings, bing, bang, boom, 7, 8-minute drive. They go down there, they score a touchdown. First play of the first drive on offense, on the road in Minnesota, holding penalty, 1st and 20. New York Giants offense responded. They're going to have to respond tonight, and make no mistake about it, the Eagles are going to come out fast. They're going to come out like Mike Tyson, and they're going to try to land that knockout blow in the first 3 or 4 rounds. And we'll see if the New York Giants are able to withstand that. But as this game wears along, if the New York Giants can keep this game close on the scorecards, like a boxing match, the pressure is going to continue to mount more and more and more on the Philadelphia Eagles. Keep this game close going into the second half, and the New York Giants are going to give themselves a very good chance to win this football game. I have no doubt in my mind, and I think they're going to come out prepared. Murdoch, man, thank you very much, man. First play, 60-yard bomb, Slayton. Let's go. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Let's see. Nelson says, are we still deferring? I would defer. Like I said, I think we're a much better second-half team. Jarrell says, I'm feeling super confident about this game. Let's go. Let's go, Jarrell, man. Come on, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's see. Thank you to everybody for being here. Buck Josh says 14-3, 17-0. That don't matter. You're absolutely right. It don't matter. It means nothing. 15-1. You could add that to it as well. The 15-1 Green Bay Packers, the 13-3 Dallas Cowboys when we were 10-6, when we were 9-7 means nothing. You know what our record is right now? 1-0. You know what their record is? 0-0. It's the playoffs. It's a new season. Regular season record means nothing outside of where the game is played. And the Giants showed last week it really doesn't matter where the game is played. In the past, they've shown it really doesn't matter where the game is played. It comes down to coaching, and it comes down to these guys, implementing the coaching and going out there and executing to the best of their abilities. We'll see. It's not going to be an easy matchup. We know that. The Eagles have a really good pass rush. They have really good corners. They have really good weapons on the outside. We'll see how healthy Jalen Hurts is. But I think this team's going to come out prepared, and I think they're going to give it everything they got. Joe says, tonight, we rename him Danny Diamonds. It takes all of us our way. Tonight, we ride. Let's go, New York Giants. Let's go, Joe, man. Let's get this W. Jeff says, hey, Chris, I'm so pumped. Are you ready for Giants football? Let's go, Big Blue. I've been ready for this game for years. This is the biggest game. I can make an argument that if the Giants were to win this game, outside of the 2 Super Bowl wins since I've been watching the team, that this would be the best I've ever felt as a Giants fan. Now, obviously, you could point to the NFC title games, the 41-0 win over the Minnesota Vikings, I didn't see the 86-90 team. The 41-0 win over the Minnesota Vikings, the kick to the Super Bowl in both the Packers and the San Francisco 49er games. This is the Philadelphia Eagles. This is the divisional game. This is a game that we had no business being in at the start of the year. To have an opportunity to knock them out when they're having a dream season. This team could go down as the best Philadelphia Eagles team of all time. It could. Hypothetically, if the Eagles were to win the Super Bowl, you could say this could go down as the best Philadelphia Eagles team of all time. They're 14-3. They're 14-1 when Jalen Hurts starts. They have 1 Super Bowl to their name. We have 4. I'm still keeping score, Eagles fans. They have an opportunity to have their best year in franchise history if they were to win a Super Bowl this year. And the New York Giants have an opportunity to ruin it. Those 17 games that they played at the regular season, if the Giants were to win tonight, is meaningless. Everyone's going to forget about it. Much like people forgot about it on our 12-4 season in 2008 when the Eagles knocked us off. Let's return the favor. Let's go Big Blue. Thanks for being here, Jeff, man. I appreciate it, buddy. And Peter says, in my opinion, it's our O-line versus their D-line. We must control it. To me, this is a Barkley game. I agree with you in terms of the Barkley game for sure. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how they implement Saquon Barkley because it's going to be hard to run straight up the middle against this team. Are you going to use a lot of swing passes? Are you going to try to, use them on the outside, screen passes, so on and so forth? But I agree with you. Saquon Barkley, let's talk about him. He is a huge factor in this game. Saquon Barkley coming into this game is as rested as he's been all year. Saquon Barkley's got 21 carries, I think it was. I actually misspoke when I put out the tweet. In his last 2 games, and he didn't play the last game of the regular season, in his last 2 games, Saquon Barkley's had 21 carries. That's 10.5 carries a game. He's as rested as can be. And he had a bye sprinkled in down the second half. Saquon Barkley is ready to go. You saw the explosiveness last week. This is a game, you're going up against a team like the Eagles. This is not the Vikings. We're not trying to get into shootouts. Now, are we going to have opportunities to throw? Sure. And when we do, we got to hit our throws, and we got to make big plays when we have those opportunities. But this is a game that Saquon Barkley needs to show up, and he needs to show up in a big way. And I think he's prepared for it. I think he's ready. Obviously, the line's going to have to produce. The line's going to have to give him some holes. But if they give him some holes, I think Saquon Barkley's going to go out there today, and he's going to absolutely dominate. And that's what we're going to need from him today. We need to chew up that clock, control the time of possession, and Daniel Jones is going to have to make big plays when he's called upon. But I think this is a big game for Saquon Barkley. Last week was Jones's game. This week is Barkley's game. Let's get that running game established. That'll help open up the other facets of this offense. So Barkley's ready for this game. He's well prepared. He should be as fresh as could be. John says, Chris, maybe the best team win. Pause. We all know who the best team here is. Oh, God. F-E-F. I'm not even saying your chant. Deep down the Eagles will run you're a delusional. Oh, okay. We're going to find out tonight, John. I'm looking forward to the opportunity. Because I think we got a shot for all the reasons that I've stated throughout the stream. We'll find out at 8:15. Jason says, what a find Hodgins has been. I don't think we have to go out and sell the farm to get a wide receiver 1. Hodgins is my wide receiver 2 going into next year. What a find for us. Yeah, I mean, listen, what more could you ask for? You got him for free. Everybody was crying to go out and get Chase Claypool for a second-round pick, an early second-round pick at that. It turned out to be the 32nd overall pick. Hodgins has outproduced him tenfold. Yeah, I mean, he's been incredible this year, and I am certainly at least at the point to say he's at least a wide receiver 3, but I'm much closer to saying he's a wide receiver 2 than a 3. He's been incredible. Hasn't had a drop since he's been a Giant. He's got 5 touchdowns, I think, in his last 6 games. I mean, he's been incredible. And on top of that, he's a great blocker. He's a well-rounded wide receiver. So I'm a big fan of Hodgins. I definitely want him to be a part of the future of this football team. We absolutely still need a number 1, like you said. How they go about doing that, whether it be free agency, trade, or the draft, I don't know. But Hodgins certainly helped the future of this wide receiver core and obviously the present. So I'm a big fan of Isaiah Hodgins for sure. Diehard, what's going on, man? Fun facts, Eagles haven't beaten a single team 3 times in a single season. Another fact. The Giants have never lost to a team 3 times in a single season. The Giants are winning this game. I like those facts. I'm going to give you another fact, our Giants fan. 2007, in this same round, we played a team from within our division when they had a bye, when they were 13-3 in the regular season, when they swept us in the regular season, and when they were favored by 7.5 going into the game. The spread today is 7.5. We're playing the number 1 seed. The Eagles had 3 losses, much like the 2007 Dallas Cowboys. We went in there and we made Terrell Owens cry like a little bitch. And I would like nothing more than to see A.J. Brown crying like a little bitch at the end of this game. But we'll see how it all plays out. Let's go out there and let's get this win tonight, Diehard, man. Thanks so much for being here, buddy. And MY Giants 26 says, Chris, you like my vid on Twitter? Yes, it was good. Yes. Yes. It was short, but it was really good. Yes, where you showed the Eagles for sure, man. Good job by you, MY Giants 26. Good hype video, man. Cry, Eagles, cry. Let's go, Nichols. Let's see what we got. Tyler says, good luck, Giants fans, our way. Shout out to you, Chris. Keep grinding, keep believing, keep representing us as you do. Much love to you and to yours. Let's go. I appreciate it, Tyler. It's been rough, for me, just as much as it is for every New York Giants fan these last 5 years. And I've tried to support them the best I can and tried to give them an opportunity the best I can. Trying to make sense of the moves the best I can sometimes when I disagreed with them, but I'm glad where we are right now as an organization. I think it's bright, and I think everybody in this chat, if you're a Giants fan, should be ecstatic regardless of what happens tonight. Obviously, we're going to be more ecstatic if we win, but regardless of what happens tonight, I mean, listen, you went into the year with several question marks. You went into the year, I mean, let's call it how it is. We went into a year with the question mark of the head coach. Brian Dable had never been a head coach before. We went in optimistic. He was a good offensive coordinator, but he had Josh Allen. So you were like, let's see. I think we got our answer there. I think he's certainly a guy that's trending towards being a very good head coach. For God's sakes, he's probably going to win Coach of the Year. You went into the year with a question mark about Daniel Jones. And I think that's been answered, that he is at least a guy that is worthy of bringing back for the next few years to seeing if he could continue to build. So that's a check. That question was answered. You went into the year questioning whether or not Saquon Barkley could rebound and become the player that he once was. I think that's a check. I think that was answered, right? Because he has not looked the same really since his rookie year, or maybe, halfway through his second season before he started sustaining injuries. Of course, had the bad ACL injury. That's a check. He has responded to that. You went into the year not knowing that Dexter Lawrence was an all-pro talent. That's a check. He is elevated to that level of player. He was always a good player. He was never like this. Same thing can be said for Andrew Thomas, who was very good last year, not quite this. So you've seen the evolution of several players on this team with this coaching staff and just young players developing throughout the course of their careers. So there's a lot to be really excited about going into next year. We got a GM with a plan. We got a head coach that knows what the hell he's doing. So I'm super excited for this New York Giants team, man. It's been a hell of a ride. It's been one of the funnest years I've ever had as a New York Giants fan, getting to watch this team, getting to cut. When you factor in that I've been on YouTube for it, getting an opportunity to talk to you guys day in and day out about this team, it is probably the most fun I've ever had within a single year of watching the New York Giants. Getting an opportunity to experience it with each and every one of you guys, the surprise of this season, seeing this team rise above all the doubters, myself included. I had them for 7 wins when the year started. And prove everybody wrong and just continue to grow, continue to build, continue to get better. It's been a blast. It's been an absolute blast of a ride. And I'm so happy that we're here right now, and hopefully we can keep the ride going tonight. Durant says they placed Hurts's jersey over the Rocky Balboa statue. Don't know Rocky lost, right? Well, tonight we got to knock Rocky out. Tonight we got to knock Rocky out, and I'm looking forward to the New York Giants hopefully standing up to the challenge. But yeah, that's all you need to know about Philadelphia. Their most important statue, their most famous statue is of a fictitious movie character. They literally have one of the greatest boxers in the history of the world. Grew up in Philadelphia, Joe Frazier, but they chose to do Rocky Balboa. Tells you everything you need to know about that city. Tonight we're gonna knock their asses off. Let's go. And Sebastian, I hope we don't get into a shootout. My dad is an Eagles fan, but he raised a rebel. Bought us beer and Hennessy just in case we need it while we shoot down these chicken wings the Eagles have. Love you, Dana. Been with you. I appreciate it, Sebastian, man. And that'll be fun. That'll be a good viewing experience. Just don't knock anybody's heads off. Giants-Eagles, heated rivalry. I'm glad that you were a rebel. I'm glad that you're a loyal fan, and we need as many of you guys as we could get. But hopefully today you're happy and your dad's upset. No offense to your dad. I'm sure he's a great guy, but you're an Eagles fan. I hope you're crying tears tonight, and I hope we're crying tears of joy. But Sebastian, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it, buddy. And Jason says, I would like us to run at Reddick all night. I don't think Jones will be able to drop back 35 times tonight. Make this game ugly and sloppy. I agree with you. And we'll see. I mean, listen, I've said in prior weeks, I didn't think that they were going to throw as much as they did, and they did. This offense has evolved. Make no mistake about it. This offense has evolved. The Eagles are getting a different offense than they saw 5 or 6 weeks ago whenever they played us. But I agree with you, and I hope to be proven wrong. I hope they're able to drop back 35, 40 times and carve this defense up. But I got to respect this Eagles defense. This Eagles defense is really good. They have a really good defensive line. They have really good cornerbacks. And if there is a weakness to this Eagles defense that has been shown this year, it has been against the run, right? I mean, we saw Washington run all over them. We've seen teams be able to run on them. And winning the time of possession, keeping that offense off the field on the other side with Jalen Hurts and all their weapons they got over there. So I agree with you. I think that should be the game plan going into tonight. But maybe Dable surprises me and everybody else, and the New York Giants come out throwing again. But I agree with you. I think going into this game, it has to be more balanced. They need to focus more on the run. They need long drives. Last week, they were able to have a really long drive. Hopefully, they can have another drive like that tonight where they shoot up 12 minutes. Only difference being that we get into the end zone. But I would like this to be more of a grinded-out game going up against a team like the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm in complete agreement with you, Jason. Last week, we were going up against a really bad defense. Let's see what we got. And John says, with a late draft pick, what direction do we take? I mean, listen, I ain't even thinking about the draft today. I'm thinking about this game. And I know, like, we've been programmed to think about the draft late into the season because of how bad this team has been the last 5 years since our last playoff appearance. So I understand, like, that's instilled in our brain. And sometimes I can't help but think about it because it's been instilled in my brain to think about it. Draft, free agents. Right now, all I'm thinking about tonight is the New York Giants and the Philadelphia Eagles. And if we win tonight, all I'm going to be thinking about is the NFC Championship game. If you're asking me a question about the draft, all I can tell you is I don't know who's going to be there. We're picking so late. It's not like we're going to be picking top 5, top 6, top 7, top 8 like we've done in the past. And you could kind of narrow it down to 2 or 3 players, maybe 4 players. Last year, I knew we were going to be taking a tackle, more than likely Neal if he fell. And I knew we were probably going to take Sauce or Kayvon. We ended up getting 2 of them. This year, I have no idea what we're going to do. We're going to be picking hopefully 31, but at the best in terms of the draft position, 26. So I don't know who's going to drop. I'm not gonna single it out to a single position. I don't know what we're gonna do with free agency. I don't know what we're gonna do in terms of trades. All I can tell you is the needs we have in this team right now are wide receiver, linebacker, interior offensive line, and corner. I think those are the 4 biggest needs right now in this team, and you try to fill one of them with that pick. That's what you try to do. Who is it going to be? I have no idea right now. None whatsoever. Thomas says, if we win, you, Bad Dog Bobby, and License Plate Guys' Twitters are going to get shut down, and I can't wait. It's time to see some primetime dimes from Danny Dimes. Oh, listen, man. Eagles fans are going to hate me. Giants, negative Giants fans today will hate me, even though there should not be a single negative Giants fan right now today with the way this team has performed. If you are, you're just being negative to be negative as far as I'm concerned. But they're going to hate me if the Giants win tonight because I'm going to be obnoxious. I'm going to be vocal, and it's going to be devastating for them. It's going to be absolutely devastating. And I'll tell you this right now. If the Giants win tonight, I'll make you this promise right now because the game is going to be on my channel. 7:45, we're going to start. I think the game starts at 8:15. Game should be over. You figure around 11:15, 11:30. If we win tonight, which is a huge if, but if we do, I will be online. I will be live on this channel until 2 a.m. We will be partying on Saturday night until 2 a.m. That will happen if we win tonight because I'm not going to bed anyway. I'm going to be up watching all the highlights. I'm going to be screaming my head off. We're going to party tonight if the New York Giants are somehow able to come up with this victory. So we'll see. But I'm pumped up. I'm excited to have the opportunity that the New York Giants currently have. Ed says, I live outside of Philly. Destroying their fans' dreams would be a gift from God. Let's go, man. A gift from the football gods. What's going on, Peter, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. 48-hour victory stream. I don't know about all that, but we're going to party tonight. Make no mistake about it if they win. Neezy says D-line needs to show up today and make Ertz uncomfortable and force him to throw picks. He is rusty, and it showed in Week 18. G-Men our way. I saw somebody post a stat on Twitter. I don't know how accurate it is. It's not like it was from an incredible source, but and I was looking actually for the pressure stats. I couldn't find it, but Jalen Hurts' pressure stats, if they were accurate, are really bad. He had a 45% completion percentage. I think he had 4 touchdowns, 2 picks. So yeah, let's get some pressure on him. Daniel Jones, he compared it side by side with Daniel Jones' pressure stats, which were much better. Which Jones is obviously much more used to playing under pressure because his offensive line is not nearly as good as Hurts's. But get pressure on Hurts, try to force a couple mistakes. That's got to be the game plan going in, and hopefully we can get some interior pressure, get him off of his game, force him to make a mistake or two, and that changes the outlook of this football game. I think the Giants, if they're going to win, are going to have to win the turnover battle. The other interesting thing that I saw, I think a big stat when it comes to, a big stat when it comes to teams that have success that I always tend to look at. One is time of possession. I think that's a good one. Third down efficiency, red zone offense and defense. I think those are good stats. Just common sense. Keeping, as few points off the board as you can when you're on defense and scoring as many as you can once you get inside the 20 on offense. We've done really well in those stats. But another stat, I forgot what I was going to say. You had me talking. Sometimes I ramble and I forget where I'm going. I was going to talk about a stat in regards to the Giants and Eagles. It'll come back to me. I forgot it off the top of my head. Sometimes I start talking and I forget where I was going. It'll circle back. We'll talk about it, though. Toasty says, you hear about the butterfly effect that the Eagles are hurting Jones led to Kayvon and Dable because if they didn't hit him low, Jones hurt, we kept Judge. All right, let's circle back to this butterfly effect that you're talking about. Okay. You hear about the butterfly effect that the Eagles hurting Jones led to, last year Jones gets hurt. Yes, you're right. Because, yes, you're absolutely right. Because if Jones doesn't get hurt last year, I don't know where we would have been picking, but we wouldn't have been picking fifth. There's no way we would have went winless. We were 2-1 in our last 3 games, and we went up against 2 playoff teams before Jones got hurt. We probably would have won at least 2 more games. So we would have been picking probably 12, 13 as opposed to 5 with the Kayvon pick. So, yeah, them, I guess, hurting Jones turned out to more than likely get Judge fired as well, like you said, because if we win 6 or 7 games, if Jones stays in, it probably convinces ownership to go another year. Maybe not. We'll never know. But we don't have the meltdown in terms of the Joe Judge press conference, in terms of the QB sneak on your own 9. So, yeah, I think you're kind of right. Not that I'm happy that Jones got hurt or that I had to endure that horrible of a season, but you might be right in terms of all of what you said in terms of the butterfly effect after the Eagles hurt Daniel Jones. It definitely led to Kayvon Thibodeau, and it probably led to Brian Daboll. So you're probably right about that. Justin says, I had laser eye surgery today. Well, good luck to that. I had laser eye surgery years ago. Like, I don't know how long ago now. Probably like 17 years ago. 16, 17 years ago, I had laser surgery. You'll be all right. I don't know how it's changed since. I had to wear like the cataract glasses for about 2 or 3 days, and then I was fine. And the whole procedure was like 5 minutes. The only weird part about it was you felt them kind of like slitting your eye. There was no pain involved, but you could feel them doing whatever they have to do to correct your vision. But I was fine. Hopefully you're good too. He says, this is what I've been missing all this time. Man, blue never looked so good, but then Eagles green is hideous. It's making me go blind again. Well, good luck to your recovery. You'll be fine, man. Ed says, living outside that wretched city, if we win, I need to have a beer or 5 with some Giants fans tonight. So I'm tuning in with the cheers. I'll definitely have some beer on the stream tonight. I haven't purchased it yet. I'm going to go out and get some beer before the game tonight because I want to be a little bit relaxed. You're going to be tense going into this game. I want to be a little bit relaxed at the start of this game, and I'm excited. I'm excited to call it with you guys, and hopefully we have a highlight of play calls that one of my subscribers was able to make for me if he's listening. Slurpee was able to make that highlight video for me. Hopefully we get to do that again this week. That was a lot of fun. John says, Chris, people are grasping for straws. The difference between the Giants' overall coming odds have happened, but this Giants team is the least talented. Maybe. Is it possible, guys in the chat, is it possible that us as fans as a whole and the media and the prognosticators have underrated the Giants' talent all along? I'm not telling you that we have elite talent, but is it possible they've underrated the Giants' talent all along? Is it possible that Dexter Lawrence was an elite defensive tackle from before the year started? He just needed the proper coaching to get the most out of him. And now he's playing at a near Aaron Donald type level. Is it possible that Daniel Jones all along was at least a fringe top 10 quarterback, trending towards hopefully being more than that? And he just needed the proper coaching to get it out of him. Is it possible that Saquon Barkley is one of the most talented running backs in football, which we kind of knew all along, but now he's back and better than ever? I don't know. Something tells me this talent's not quite as bad as we once thought going into the start of the season. Something tells me that. Right now, I think we have the best left tackle in football. Right now, I think we have a top 10 quarterback. You can put me on a lie detector. That's how I feel. Right now, I think we have one of the better interior defensive lines in all of football from a talent perspective between Leonard Williams and Dexter Lawrence. We have holes, but so did that team in 2007. Our linebacker core wasn't very good. Wasn't very good in 2007, 2011. Our cornerback core wasn't very good. I'm not comparing this team to that. That team had more talent, but I don't think this team is void of talent. I think there's talent on this Giants football team, and I think a lot of people refuse to realize it. And Stanley says, are you concerned about the Eagles' fast defense? There's a lot of things with the Eagles that concerns me. There's a lot of things with the Eagles that concerns me. Like you said, they're edge rushers for sure. They had 70 sacks, 4 guys with double-digit sacks. Reddick had 16 by himself. So, yeah, absolutely, that's a major concern. They're secondary. They take chances. They try to jump routes. They have 2 good corners. That concerns me, especially if there's going to be pressure on Daniel Jones. On the other side, what concerns me more than anything is their running game. And I know they got weapons in terms of the wide receivers, and I'm not saying I'm not concerned with that either, but I'm concerned with their running game because we all know the New York Giants have struggled all year, especially against teams that run the ball in a fashion like the Philadelphia Eagles with the quarterback where he could extend plays with his legs, and he could burst off the outside. The same could be said for a guy like Miles Sanders. In between the tackles were decent, but it's when you have guys that could pop it to the outside that could create big plays where we've really struggled this year. So, there's definitely things that concern me from within this game, but there's also things I'm encouraged by going into this game. And I'm excited to see how it all plays out. This is not going to be a flawless performance. This is not going to be 41-0 against the Vikings. If we win this game, this is going to be a game we're going to be on the edge of our seats the entire game, and the Giants are going to drag this out. They're going to make it sloppy. They're going to make it nasty, and they're going to play to the strengths of this football team and try to take advantage of some of the mistakes that hopefully the Philadelphia Eagles make. But, on paper, they're the better team. Most teams we played this year on paper, by most people's standards, were the better team. This team's overcome a lot. Brian says, isolating with Rona, so I want the 2 a.m. stream. Well, I hope you feel better, Brian, man. Thanks for popping in, man. And, I had it about, a year ago. And I isolated for about 3 or 4 days, and then I was okay. But hopefully you feel better soon. And hopefully the New York Giants make you feel a lot better today. Evan says, just saying, some people are saying that this is giving a similar vibe to 2007. Food for thought. Now, let's go bird hunting. I think it's just natural as fans. That's going to be instilled in your head when you've grown up watching the New York Giants, when you've watched them overcome odds in both the 2007 and 2011. It didn't happen just once. It happened twice. I understand it's new players, but I also think there's a mental factor to it. If the Giants were to win this game, you can't convince me that whoever we play in the NFC Championship game is not going to be in the back of their head. Is this happening again? Is this happening again? A team of miracles, a team that finds ways to go on runs as a wild card, just went into Philadelphia and knocked off the number 1 seed. They made the playoffs in a very similar fashion to both of those two previous teams, where they got hot the last 2 or 3 regular season games, started to look like a more evolved football team, and then it translated into the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. So I think there is a mental aspect to it. But let's beat the Eagles first before we worry about 2007 runs, 2011 runs. We got to win this game first before that even becomes a possibility. If we win this game, I think the majority of this fan base then is going to be all in. I think now you kind of have about, I think most fans are still kind of wait and see. They're kind of like, that was a nice win, but, I'm not too surprised they beat the Vikings. Maybe I'm a bit surprised at how good Daniel Jones looked, but I'm not all in yet. If they were to beat the Eagles in Philadelphia, I think it's a full-blown party. I think Giants fans are all in, and they say to themselves, this can happen again. This can happen again. This could be something like the 2007 or 2011 run. But let's beat the Eagles first before we worry about that. We got to worry about the team on our schedule today, and I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great game. Chef says, Bellinger's first touchdown of the game, Galladay's last touchdown of the game. It feels good to have faith in this team. Last week really solidified it for me. Go Giants. Chef is a guy who always bets on the tight ends, if you guys do not know, to score the first touchdown of the game. So hopefully, Shep, once again, you were right today. And we'll see, man. I would like nothing more than Bellinger to get more involved in this game. He has been somewhat involved in the offense, and he's actually had a couple of splash plays, 15, 20, 25-yard plays. So I'm a fan of Bellinger. I think he's only going to grow more and more as a player. He also obviously helps in a game like this. I think where Bellinger brings the most value is as a run blocker. We all saw how the offense, in terms of being able to run the ball effectively, kind of, teetered off after he went down with the injury in terms of a yards per carry aspect, so on and so forth. So I think him being back in the game, especially against a team like this, where I think we're going to have to run the ball effectively, I think that's where Bellinger will bring the most value. But, of course, he's a pretty sure-handed tight end and could definitely help us from within inside the red zone. Hopefully you hit on your bet. Cy Guy, what's going on, man? Chris, we have to control both lines of scrimmage. Much easier said than done. It's definitely not going to be a flawless performance on the lines of scrimmage, but we need to play as well as we possibly can. They have more talent on both sides of the line of scrimmage. They might have the best offensive line in football, and they have maybe the best defensive line. Like they're really good. They have a great defensive line. They have a great offensive line, but we have to hold our own. We can't get completely dismantled. We have to hold our own. We can't get dismantled, and we have to find a way to create pressure, whether it's with the blitz, whether it's with Dex and Leo winning up front. It's going to be a challenge. There's no doubt about it. You're going to be presented with challenge when you play from within the playoffs. So we can't get dismantled on the line of scrimmage. Angelo says, Giants are going to give Philly the business tonight. Let's go, Angelo, man. Can't wait, buddy. Let's go, New York Giants. Come on, baby. Amazing guy says Giants will win. Yeah, it's going to be a tough game. And Dreadpool says Hurt stats under pressure, 34.5% completion, 52% catchable passes, both bottom 5 numbers. When not under pressure, 74% completion, Wink's going to blitz. Oh, there's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. Wink's going to blitz. The Giants are going to do everything they possibly can to try to create turnovers. And if the Eagles score because of it, they score. You got to take chances in this game, and maybe you buckle up when they get inside the 20 and try to get a stop. But the Giants are absolutely going to send the dogs selectively. It's not going to be an all-out blitz every single play. And don't get frustrated, Giants fans. This is a really good team. The Eagles are going to have plays. They're going to have splash plays, but we have to take chances. We have to take chances to try to create sack opportunities, to try to create turnovers, and to try to get Jalen Hurts under pressure. Because, as you can see there, when he is under pressure, he's not been very successful this year. The problem is he's not under pressure a whole lot because he's got a really good offensive line. So hopefully the New York Giants are able to accomplish that. Richard says, Eli going. Who else is going to the game? I heard Justin Tuck is going to the game. And there was another Giants legend that is supposed to be at the game. I can't recall off the top of my head, but I know Justin Tuck and Eli are definitely going to be there. And there was another one. Maybe somebody in the chat knows. I'm not sure. I heard another name for sure. But I don't remember off the top of my head. But I know those two. Those two I remember. We all know Eli's going. Ernie says Dable's secret. Oh, Strahan. Is Strahan going? Okay, so Strahan, Cruz. Okay, Cruz, Strahan. There you go. Cruz, Strahan, OC's going to be there, huh? Barber. All right, there's a lot of Giants legends apparently that are going to be there. I don't know if they're guessing, but there's a lot of Giants legends that are essentially going to be there. Tiki said he was going. Strahan, Bradshaw's going. So there's a lot. There's going to be a lot. Hopefully LT goes. I don't know if he'll be there. Jacobs. So they're all going to be there. Hopefully they bring the good luck. Ernie says, Dable's secret, get guys to do what they are good at. I'm 6'2", 260. Want me to run a 40-yard dash? No. Need me to move boxes? Where do you want them? Ernie, I've been talking about this since at the beginning of the year, the first 5-6 weeks of the season, how that was what he took from Bill Belichick. You know, Joe Judge and him both learned under Bill Belichick. Joe Judge tried to impersonate Bill Belichick. Dable is his own man, but he's taken things from Bill Belichick and he's brought him to this football team. And what is more Belichickian than that? Finding guys that are not the best athletes, but you know what to do with them. You know how to get the most out of them. And that's exactly what Brian Dable has done this entire year with this New York Giants football team. It's exactly what he's done. He's gotten practice squad guys to come in here and produce. He's done a marvelous job, a fantastic job. So you're absolutely right, and that's a good comparison. Sticky Fingers says, tried so hard to temper expectations, started at 500, then us making the playoffs, then to beat the Vikings. But now, man, if they beat this team, we could beat anyone. If so, I'm all in on a Super Bowl. Am I wrong? No, you're not wrong. They may not do it, but you're not wrong for feeling that way. How could you be wrong for feeling that way if they were to win today? How? And I think we have a chance to win today. I really do. But if they were to win today, how could you not have that feeling? How could you not? How could you not with everything we've done in our past, with all the momentum we would have built at that point in time? Any given Sunday, anything can happen. So absolutely, we'd be 2 wins away from a championship if we were win today. So no, I'm telling you right now, that's the feeling I'm going to have if we win today. I'm going to be all in. You think I'm all in now? I'm going to be all in. So no, you're not wrong. That's the beauty of the NFL playoffs. The best team doesn't always win. Matter of fact, most of the times the best team doesn't win. It's about the team that's the hottest, the team that has the most confidence, and the team that's playing their best ball at the right time. And a lot of it's about matchups. Harry says, hey, Chris, how are you? What's going on, Harry, man? Hope you're doing well, too. I think we feel the special teams need to make a big play or two, no turnovers. That's a bigger concern for me in this game than it was in the previous. Because the last game against Minnesota, we were playing in a dome. So I went into that game saying several times, I said on the live streams, I'm not too concerned with the kickoffs because I think they're going to be able to kick it out of the end zone. Hopefully, we're able to do the same thing tonight. Hopefully, we don't get too cute with the kickoffs, but I'm a little bit more worried about that the Eagles will have opportunities to return the ball on the kickoffs. Punt coverage is always a big concern for me with the way that this team has played this year, and our punter is very hot and cold. Not to mention Boston Scott, right? We worry about him in terms of when he's on the field as a running back. He also had a huge return against us, right? If you recall the last time, I think the first time maybe, we played the Philadelphia Eagles. So special teams is huge in this game. And that's been a big problem for this New York Giants team all year. So hopefully they come up to play today. Hopefully we don't punt too much. The Giants have actually only punted 3 times in Daniel Jones' last 2 starts. You got to figure we're going to be punting more today. I mean, that was against the Colts and the Vikings. Those defenses don't compare to this one. So hopefully our special teams comes to play today, and hopefully Gillen's able to pin him inside the 10-yard line with the majority of his punts. But yeah, that is a huge X factor that does not get talked about a lot going into football games because everybody's concerned with the offense and defense. But our special teams in a lot of these games this year have been underwhelming. We need him to show up today for sure. We need some big plays there. The hidden yardage is going to be massive. Along with penalties, can't beat ourselves, right? Stuff like that. And Jason says, can you imagine a Giants-Cowboys NFC Championship game? Sheesh. Right now, I don't even want to imagine anything. The only thing I want to imagine right now is a New York Giants win against the Philadelphia Eagles. I'll worry if it's the Dallas Cowboys after today, after this game. I'm not even thinking about the Cowboys. I'm not thinking about the Bills. I'm thinking about the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm thinking about an opportunity to knock off the Eagles, a team, our arch rival, a team that is always, I mean, you go back years upon years upon years. They knocked us out in this same spot in 2008, and we were in their role. They were in ours. We were the number one seed. Obviously, Burris shot himself, so our team wasn't quite the same, but we were the number one seed. They knocked us off. And I'll tell you what, this Eagles team's not quite the same. Nobody on their team shot themselves, but they're not playing as good as they were at the beginning of the year. So we've been in this situation before, and the Eagles knocked us off. You think back to 2010. I'm not even going to mention those words. But hopefully today, Richie James returns the favor. So this team has been a thorn in our side since the beginning, and that's all I'm thinking about tonight, ruining the Philadelphia Eagles season in their house at the Link. I want those Eagle fans to go out crying their eyes out. I want them to say, I can't believe we ruined this 14-3 season without even getting a playoff win. I want Jalen Hurts to be 0-2 career in the playoffs, and I want Daniel Jones to be 2-0. Angelo says, if the Giants control the time possession and play turnover free, the Giants will win. Yeah, I mean, listen, I think, and turnovers are massive in this game. Control time of possession, turnover free, but also I think we have to create a turnover or two on defense. We got to win the turnover battle. I don't think we can break even. I think we got to win the turnover battle. Got to find a way to create one or two turnovers in this game. But yeah, listen, is there going to be a mistake in this game? Hopefully not. It's possible. If there is, the Giants have to find a way to overcome it, but it'll be tough if we lose the turnover battle to win this game. I mean, maybe if we break even, we got a shot, but the time possession is massive for sure. Giants got to chew up the clock. Nate says, Giants go to Philly, not for cheesesteaks, but wings. Let's go, man. Let's fry some birds, buddy. Let's fry some birds. They're eating pizza. Their head coach is eating pizza. That's how bad the food options are. Or maybe their head coach just isn't very smart. Like, do you think Brian Daboll would ever order Pizza Hut? Does Brian Daboll look like the kind of guy that would order Pizza Hut? Brian Daboll's he's ordering pizza from the best pizza spot in town. Their head coach he's ordering Pizza Hut on game week. My God. What's going on, Mustard Bus says, entertainer, much love. Good luck tonight, brother. We appreciate it, Mustard Bus, man. Thank you so much. Been with me forever. Huge Panthers fan. And best of luck to you guys going forward. I don't know what you're going to do at your quarterback spot. I know Darnold played okay. We'll see if you stick with him or you go with a quarterback in the draft. But thanks for popping in, man. I appreciate it, man. Brian eats steak and barbecue. You're damn right he does. Dave definitely knows how to eat. He knows what he's doing. Eating Pizza Hut is a crime if you live in the tri-state area. That's for damn sure, Chris. What's going on, Brad, man? Thanks for popping in the stream. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Hopefully all you guys are excited, man. And not only is he Italian, he's from New York. He's an Italian from New York. I don't know what to tell you. And by the way, did you see? I pointed it out this week on Twitter. Brian Daboll was playing rock, paper, scissors with Saquon Barkley. I think he might have picked that up from Sirianni. Remember Sirianni's first year as the head coach with the Philadelphia Eagles? They were doing rock, paper, scissors with all the prospects. Mustard Buzz says, I want Minshew. You should strive for more than that. I'm not a Minshew guy. I know he put up pretty good stats with the Jaguars in his first year. As a Panthers fan, if I'm a Panthers fan, I think I either stick with Darnold or I draft a quarterback. That's what I think you should do. But I don't know if that's what you will do. But I'm not a big Minshew guy. I think you should strive for more than that. What's up, Sports Critic, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. Who you got, Niners or Cowboys? I've got the Niners, and that's not because I'm a Giants fan. I picked the Niners. I actually look back at my Twitter to see when I picked it, like, officially on Twitter, even though I thought it much earlier. August 15th, I tweeted out Bills versus Niners Super Bowl. Now, I'm going to be wrong on that. It's going to be Bills versus Giants, and Shane and Dable are going to knock off the Buffalo Bills, their old team. But I've liked the Niners long before now. I've thought that they were the class of the conference before the year started, and my opinion has not changed. I still think they're the class of the conference. So I think they're going to knock off the Dallas Cowboys. I just think they're the better team. So I think that's who we're going to get. What's up, Tyreek, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. What's going on there? Sean, man, thanks for popping in the stream, buddy. Big says Daniel Jones will mukbang Philly cheesesteak. Let's go. Yeah, McCaffrey's a beast. Did you hear about the Giants hotel? Yeah, I don't know if this is official or just something that was circulating on Twitter. Because you know how things on Twitter could get overblown and you get a lot of false information. But reportedly today, the Giants, and again, take this with a grain of salt. I don't know if it's completely accurate. The hotel that they're staying in, miraculously, coincidentally, the water stopped working. So they can't take a shit, they can't go to the bathroom, and they can't take a shower. If that is true, there is no way in hell you can convince me that the Philadelphia Eagles were not a part of that. And if they were, if that is true, that should give the New York Giants even more motivation to kick the ever-living crap out of the Philadelphia Eagles. Kick the ever-living crap out of the Philadelphia Eagles. What a disgrace of a franchise. Disgrace. Let's see what we got here. And Shane, man, thank you very much, man. G-Men playing with house money, in my opinion, with everything. The Eagles with everything to lose. All the pressure's on the Eagles. And as this game goes further and further along, if the New York Giants can keep this close, it's only going to grow more and more in terms of the pressure for the Philadelphia Eagles. So that we definitely have going for us. The Eagles have a tremendous amount of pressure. Their fans may be trying to downplay that, but it's there, and the players will feel it if the New York Giants keep this close going into the fourth quarter. And Jason says, love the work you do. One of my favorite Giants content creators. Would love one day to jump on a live stream with you one day. Voice of G-Men Nation. I appreciate it, Jason, man. And yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. Well, listen, I'm going to have some of you guys come on tonight if we win. But I'll definitely do that throughout the offseason for sure. I want to do more and more of that. I'm going to do a ton of live streams throughout the offseason. I'm going to be much more active this offseason than I was last. So I'm really looking forward to the offseason content. I'm obviously just thinking about tonight's game, but in terms of the content, I'm really looking forward to the offseason, getting to talk with you guys all offseason, continuing to talk Giants, all the way past the draft and getting ready for the following season. And I plan on doing that, like a live show at least once a week, where not just with Bad Dog, but where I have, callers for you guys. And I've already talked to JD Sports Talk. I don't know if you guys know who he is. He's been on my channel before. He's a great guy. He works with CP on Knicks Fan TV. I plan on doing something with him once a week during the offseason as well, where maybe we take some callers, for about a half hour. Not a lot of callers, but a couple here and there, as we go with the show. So I'm really looking forward to the offseason, getting to talk to some of you guys. Duran says, did you see the video of the Eagles cheating week 14? I didn't see the video. I heard about it. I have not seen the video yet, but I heard about it. I heard that the Eagles are supposedly cheat on extra points and field goals. But I didn't hear about the specifics in terms of what they did. But I read several headlines that the Eagles cheated on special teams and field goals this year. And Dead Trucker says, multi-year deal for Danny and Saquon. Let's go. It's happening. A report came out yesterday from Ian O'Connor, actually, that, and I think O'Connor, I don't even know who he works for now. It might be the Post. I don't even know. But obviously O'Connor, he's a name. We know who he is. Report came out from him yesterday that during the bye, the New York Giants offered Saquon Barkley I can't remember if it was a 3 or a 4-year contract in the range of $12 to $12.5 million a year, according to his sources. So that's an offer. That's not like a nothing offer. So that if that is true, it is clear the New York Giants want Saquon Barkley back. Now, reportedly, Saquon Barkley turned that offer down, and I can't blame Barkley. It's his one opportunity to hit on a big contract, and hopefully the New York Giants and Barkley can meet in the middle with something they could agree upon. But it certainly sounds like the Giants and Barkley have a mutual interest. It's just a matter of, what the contract is going to be. And, of course, the Giants could always try to utilize the franchise tag and then negotiate exclusively with him during the offseason. But, yes, I fully expect Saquon Barkley to be back next year. If he wasn't going to be back, the New York Giants would have traded him. I mean, his value was never higher. They would have traded him. He's going to be back, whether it's on a tag or whether it's on a multi-year contract. And Daniel Jones is getting a multi-year contract. I'd be shocked if he doesn't. So maybe he gets the tag. I don't think so, though. I think he's going to get a multi-year contract. And let's see what we got. Alfonso says, look out, number 55, Jihad Ward, and number 99, we will win. Love Jihad Ward, man. He's been a great pickup for the New York Giants. Obviously familiar with Wink from his Baltimore days. Just seems to be one of the guys in the locker room that amps the guys up, right? So I love Jihad Ward. Great pickup. Obviously, Leo's a monster. Leo and Dex, I think, are the most important players on this defense today. I think we need to get interior pressure. Manny says, oh, my God, oh, my God, oh, my God. Giants, help us, God. Let's go, Manny, man. Thanks for popping in the stream, buddy. Also, obviously, the additions of McKinney, right? He didn't play the first time around with the Eagles, and Adoree Jackson are massive for this football team. And hopefully, guys in the chat, you guys remember as well as I do, the last time around when the lights came on. You know it in the chat. The last time the lights came on in a primetime game, who showed up? Who showed up? Kayvon Thibodeaux. Hopefully today we get a Sunday night performance from Kayvon Thibodeaux. Because if he ever showed up like that, he could change the game around by himself. And obviously Lane Johnson's a little bit dinged up. Kayvon, lights are on tonight. We need you, buddy. Q-Dog says, I'm so proud of this team and especially Daniel Jones. I watched your Giants hype video several times. Bad Dog DJ apology video was cool. That's my guy. Yeah, man. Listen, man. I give you credit all the time, more so than anybody else. You called Daniel Jones long before the draft. Long before the draft. At least on my channel, you were the first guy that I ever heard bring up his name as a guy that you desperately wanted on the Giants. You were calling him out in like December. You were calling him out during the season of the 2019 regular season. 2018 regular season. Saquon's rookie year, like in like week 16, you were like, yeah, we need to take Daniel Jones. So I always give you credit for that. And you were right. They took him, and I'm very happy that they did at this point, regardless of how I reacted on draft night. If you were doing a redraft today, I would like to do a video like that. Do a redraft of the 2000 and, not now, but during the offseason. Do a redraft of the 2019 draft. Bosa would probably be the one because Bosa's awesome. He's like an incredible edge rusher, and he went 2 to the 49ers. And I'd have to look at that list. But Daniel Jones would certainly be a top 5 pick, in my opinion. And I think he'd be the first quarterback off the board. I do think right now, today, Daniel Jones is the best quarterback in that draft class. John, man, thank you very much, man. He says, if our linebackers, Jalen, Davis, Collins, could slow down their run, we will be fine. And I think we should target Bradbury all game. He's slow. Yeah, Bradbury's definitely not allergic to getting beat over the top with a double move. We know that as Giants fans. He's better, he's a good corner, but he's more, he's not really a man corner. And we'll see how they play him. Their slot's banged up for this game as well. So we'll see what we could try to do. I don't have a ton of confidence in our linebackers. I think that at this point in time, this right now might be the weakest part of our team is the linebacking core. So I don't have a ton of confidence in that going into the game, but hopefully they find a way to come up with a pretty good performance. Dead Trucker says, Ojulari is cleared to play. What's your thoughts? I mean, I heard that already. I forgot who said it, but somebody already said it on Twitter, and I was pumped up when I read it. But let's see. He was cleared to play last week, right? And I think he only had 5 or 6 snaps. Now I know he got hurt from within the game. So we'll see if he's a full clear, if he's a full go. But if Ojulari is a full go, it changes this defense. It absolutely does. Kayvon Thibodeaux under the lights against Washington. Who was out there? Ojulari, right? So just having his presence out on the field enhances the production of every player on this defense. When you have to account for 2 really good edge rushers, it's going to make the other edge rusher better. It's going to make Dexter Lawrence better. It's going to make Leonard Williams better. So if we have a full go Azeez Ojulari and there is no limitations, it absolutely enhances the pass rush for this New York Giants football team. So, and he's been great this year when he's been out there. I think he's got 5.5 sacks and 6 starts. So he's been great this year for the New York Giants, and hopefully he's out there tonight, man. It would go a long way towards helping this team. Let's see what we got. Mighty Mango. Hey, Chris, got all my stuff laid out in the living room and Captain Morgan ready to go. Let's go, Big Blue. Yeah, I'm going to be drinking some beers with you guys tonight, and hopefully the New York Giants find a way to get a win, and we all get to celebrate together at about 11:30 as we get ready for the NFC Championship game. Regardless, what happens tonight has been a great experience, getting to experience this with you guys, and it has really motivated me a ton as a content creator to really, pump out content this offseason. Like all I've got on my mind, if you follow me on Twitter, I'm constantly tweeting about the New York Giants because it's all I got on my mind. I am so excited for the future and the present of this football team. And I'm praying that we go out there today and we knock the ever-living crap out of the Philadelphia Eagles. Will says, I want to change Danny Dimes to Danny Duke. After tonight, I'm going to change him to Danny Diamonds. He's going to go out there. He's going to be dropping diamonds. Forget dimes. We're going to have to pay him diamonds by the end of this playoff run. Let's name them Danny Diamonds. Let's see what we got. What's going on there, Tate, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. And MY Giants, and yeah, man, Sports Critic, everything's good, man. I hope everything's good with you too, Amir, man. Thanks for being here, buddy. And MY Giants 26 says, Chris, you still got my hype video and email. Might have to give that video one more go around, get you hype. I'm so ready to do this thing. Let's hunt. Yeah, I'm talking to the chat right now. I had those pre-ready, but I'll give it a look before. I mean, I watched your hype video on Twitter, but I'll give it a look before I go live tonight for sure, man. I'm gonna be watching all those hype videos. Whether it be yours, whether it be, J Boogie's rap song. If you haven't checked that out, go watch the beginning of the stream. When it's done, he came out with his official music video. Definitely check that out. J Boogie's a great guy. He's always supported me as a content creator. Matter of fact, I'm going to play it again because I think he deserves it. Because I know we only had about 500 people at the beginning. So I'm going to play it again. It's only a 2-minute video, 2.5-minute video. Let's play it one more time for anybody that's popping in the chat now. Maybe it'll get you a little more amped up going into the game. So let's play it again real quick.
Yeah. What y'all thought y'all wasn't going to see us? We in here. You dig? Shout out to the Big Blue Nation. Everybody that's been rocking with them Giants, staying loyal. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Somebody tell them we back, we in the trenches. You see that front D line that got them flinching. Joe, show them the way, handle your business. They don't want to see this weight that we benching. When it comes to the swag, this is Big Blue. You don't want to see that cold season. Somebody tell the Mars, yeah, they got it right. You see the stadium from the highway, this is MetLife. It's only right that I hit you with this napalm. That Deuce 6 got me feeling like I'm Saquon Barkley. I ain't talking Mr. Sir Charles. That cut back hit the hole when I'm running hard. You see the squad, we back, we in the POs. I'm at the game, so please don't call my PO. That pretty boy Gillette cut, you see my facial. That locker room, I'm dancing like Brian Dable. This the 8 around here, we call them Danny Dimes. If you ain't seeing what I'm seeing, then you Stevie Blind. This what happens on the field with an old line. That fullback read option, now it's go time. The underdog, Big Blue, tell them we don't bend. Like Adrian told Rocky to just win. I know the haters for real, so they won't choose. We already won the season, so we can't lose. Somebody tell them we back, we in the trenches. You see that front D line that got them flinching. Joe, show them the way, handle your business. They don't want to see this weight that we benching. When it comes to the swag, this here's Big Blue. You don't want to see that cold season. Somebody tell the Mars, yeah, they got it right. You see the stadium from the highway, this is MetLife. National Blue Day Giant get every Friday. Tell Ice Cube we need another Friday. That's the love around here, we all G-men. Just had to make moves, get rid of Dave, get them in. That front D when it blitz, it'll stain ya. Call Chris, the entertainer. I say we back for long years, a bull run. You know my name, J Boogie, this a blue one. Somebody tell them we back, we in the trenches. You see that front D line that got them flinching. Joe, show them the way, handle your business. They don't want to see this weight that we benching. When it comes to the swag, this here's Big Blue. You don't want to see that cold season. Somebody tell the Mars, yeah, they got it right. You see the stadium from the highway, this is MetLife. Shout out to the office. Shout out to the coaching staff. Shout out to the...
You guys got the gist, but I wanted to give it another play. Always been a great supporter of mine. Put a lot of effort into that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the song. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate it, man. What's going on there? What's up, Anime Man? What's going on there? Eric Garrison. I'm going to answer a couple of these, and I got Nikki in the background. I'm going to have him on, talk about the Giants probably for about another 45 minutes, hour as we get ready for the game, and then probably watch the 4 o'clock game before we get ready for the Giants. Connor says, I'm so tired of everybody saying you're not a Daniel Jones supporter. I've been watching you since 2019, and you supported the guy until you couldn't. I consider you a Daniel. Of course I'm a Daniel Jones supporter. I'm just not a guy that blindly followed him. I always supported him. I never trashed him. I always supported him. I didn't like the pick on draft night, but that's a reaction. And that was 97% of Giants fans. But I think I've been as fair to Daniel Jones as I could be. I mean, for God's sakes, our general manager didn't give him the 5th-year option before the year started. And all I ever said since the start of the year was, I want to see what he does, just like Joe Shane wanted to see what he did. I believed he could play better this year, and he did. He's played great, and I'm supporting him every step of the way. I've been very outspoken. And I'm really happy for Daniel Jones. I don't know what else to say. If people want to punish me for my initial draft reaction and the fact that I didn't say he was an incredible quarterback before seeing any slice of evidence, I don't know what to tell you. I don't even know why we fight about it at this point. Everybody should be happy. We've got the guy. We've got a quarterback. We've got a guy now that we could say is a franchise quarterback or a guy that we could build with hopefully for the next 4 or 5 years. That's it. I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled as a Giants fan. And Goblin says, Chris, let's blanket go. What's going on, Goblins, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. And let's get Nikki into the chat, man. What's up, Nikki? Can't hear you, buddy.
What's up?
There?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, what's going on, man?
All right. I'm pretty hyped. Yeah, Maddox is out. I see that, Ryan. That's awesome. That's huge. You just see the point and the points and yardage spreads between when he plays and when he doesn't play. It's kind of ridiculous, actually. He's a great slot corner. That's huge.
Yeah. That could be huge for the Giants today. We'll see.
Absolutely. But you know what, Chris? And I know we're just focusing on, the Giants today and facing the Eagles, but I can't help myself. You know how much I love the offseason. I love the draft and everything like that. And I was just thinking to myself, what if, the worst thing ever would be, what if Brian Daboll in the offseason, loses weight? We saw what that did to Patrick Graham from 2020 to 2021. And that, scares the ever-living crap out of me. I don't want it. What if he just loses his mojo?
The one thing we don't have to worry about with Brian Daboll is his hairstyle. Because we remember what happened with Ben McAdoo. Ben McAdoo had the mushroom cut, then he had the slick back hair, and all of a sudden he forgot how to coach a football team. So
yeah,
we don't got to worry about that at least. But you're right. Hopefully he doesn't lose any weight because we saw what happened with Patrick Graham.
Yeah, I don't care if it's Pizza Hut or whatever, Papa John's, Domino's, he can have it. He has a pass from this paisano to have whatever pizza he wants as long as he maintains his current weight.
And Phenopolis says, I have to wear an Eagles hat rather, until the end of the month because I lost a bet on Eagles, I think you meant to say. Not on Giants game days, though. Been a rough couple of weeks. Go, G, man. I can't even imagine what it would like to have to put a green Eagles hat on. That must be horrendous, horrific. I would never even make that bet. Sounds horrible.
No, thank you. It's interesting, actually, because so as you know, I moved down to the Jersey Shore about 2 years ago, and there's a lot more Eagles fans down here than what there were in North Jersey, obviously. But today to work, I have a Giants sweatshirt, and it has LT on the back and 56, and so I wore that to work today, and every person that I came across, literally 30, 40 people today, I had interactions with simply because I was wearing that sweatshirt, and it was either aggressively, let's go Giants, or aggressively, let's go Eagles. And it was just so strange that
because you kind of live in the middle of enemy territory.
Yeah. So it's literally 50-50 Eagles and Giants fans. I haven't met a fan of any other team except for my boss, who is from Atlanta, and he's a Commanders fan. But other than that, everyone's either Eagles or Giants fans, and it's so even the little kids, because I'm a tennis pro, so I have classes of kids that are 8 and 9 years old, and I walk into class and they're just like, oh, you like the Giants? No way. Which they knew, they just forget. But then I have a bunch of them coming up to me telling me these rhymes about the Eagles that they make about how they stink and then how the Giants are awesome. And I'm getting mocked by even the little kids to get the sense of the rivalry between the Giants and the Eagles. And it's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great to finally feel excited about your football team. It's something we have not been able to do in forever. And you almost forgot what the feeling was like to play. I still feel like I said it earlier in the stream, I still feel like there's fans that, and I'm not knocking them for this. It's almost like a victim of habit, that are so used to thinking about the offseason. They're so used to thinking about the draft, and we're playing a game that if we win, we're going to be playing a game next week to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And we still have fans concerned about what we should do in the first round of the draft, but it's been instilled in our brains that draft, free agency, offseason. Screw the offseason. We're in the postseason.
Postseason. Oh, yeah.
Nikki, we are 2 wins away from playing for the ultimate prize.
Which is first of all why Daboll is going to win Coach of the Year. He just is. And on top of the fact of the culture that he built this season, obviously, but nobody thought we were going to, win 8 games, let alone win 9 and get to the postseason, and we won 9 games. And I know you said this, and I had said this too on Melo's Twitter space, which was, we didn't win these games in the way that everyone thought we would. Everyone had an L slotted in for Baltimore and for Green Bay, but we had W slotted in for Seattle and Detroit, and it was the complete opposite. We reached this amount of wins in a way nobody saw coming, which is also why this season feels so magical because, you get off to the 3-1 start and you go to London and you beat Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay, who were good at that point in the season. They were 3-1 also, and they had the best third down defense in football. We come home and beat Lamar Jackson at home, which I love because I hate the Ravens. I don't know why. I just do. Like that was no one saw that coming, and then the
on
Sunday
short
night
rest
football game on short exactly on short rest, and that's why this season was so awesome because it wasn't just winning. Because if you think about it, we didn't have that many more wins than losses, but it was the way in which we won games individually, and then the teams that we were beating that made it so awesome.
Yeah, and even the majority of our losses were games that could have went either way.
Yeah, for sure.
Who did we play when Richie James fumbled twice?
Seattle.
Yeah. He don't fumble those, we probably win that game. Some of the first Cowboys game, we were severely outplayed, but it was a game we could have won. Like we were in most of these games this year, even the games in which we lost. Obviously, the Eagles game we got blown out, but that was a completely different Giants team. Lots of injuries, so I think it will be a different story tonight. I think this is going to be a much more competitive game. But yeah, like I even said when I had Dan on the podcast, I said the same thing because Dan Schneer, I don't know if you know who he is, but you probably do. He predicted 9 wins at the beginning of the year. So I'm like, wow, Dan, credit to you. He's like, yeah, I looked at the schedule and I was able to convince myself of 9 wins. And then I'm like, Dan, you're right, because I kind of did the same thing when I looked at the schedule. I said I could see 9 wins. I'm going to be a little bit more conservative because it did not look like the most challenging schedule. But then I said to Dan, but there was no way in hell you thought they were going to get 9 wins in the method in which they did. He said, absolutely not. He said, I viewed several of these other teams as potential weaker opponents than they turned out to be. Like the Lions, he viewed as a win. The Jaguars, even though we beat them, he viewed them, they wouldn't be quite as good as they were. Seattle, didn't think they'd be nearly as challenging as they were. He thought that would be an easy win. Did not see a Titans win on the road first week of the season. Did not see the Green Bay win, the Baltimore win. So it's been a very impressive 9 wins. It has not been a fluky 9 wins. And I'm just happy to be here and have this opportunity. And I'm glad that everybody just continues to doubt this football team. Because I think as like a Giants fan, at least me, I don't know how everybody feels in the chat. That's part of the enjoyment for me of being a Giants fan. To be, the Giants for me are always a team that is known in terms of their history of being a blue-collar, hardworking. And a lot of people make fun of that. They're like, oh, you're hard-nosed football, blah, blah. That's what the Giants have been historically. They're a blue-collar team that gets the most out of the players on their football team historically. And as a fan base, we love being doubted. That's part of the fun of being a New York Giants fan.
I never want to be a 1 seed in the NFC ever. Never.
That's part of what I love about being. We love being doubted. We love being disrespected.
Yeah.
It's great.
And also it wasn't even in the ways in which, even if we predicted us to be this good, which the whole offseason I was saying between 8 and 10 wins. That's where I was. But again, I'm going to reiterate, not in the fashion that we did it. And the areas of the football I thought would be good aren't. Like, I thought we would have this ridiculous run defense because Blake Martinez was going to be here and we had the interior defensive lineman. And I thought that it was just going to be this like phenomenal run defense, and the pass defense was going to be suspect. But even with just Adoree Jackson as a true bona fide number 1 cornerback there and not really another number 2, the pass defense is what carried this team with the pass rush. The run defense was the liability. And it was completely flipped from what most people thought what was going to happen going into the season.
And I'm going to tell you, one of the most fun parts about me with this team throughout the season, the team has carried the team, because there's been portions of this team throughout the year that were weaker than others. And then that part would get stronger. The other part would get weaker. And the team, each week, they'd find a different way to get a win. If I would have told you, Nikki, week 6 or week 7, that the offense was going to be higher ranked than the defense, you would have called me absolutely insane.
Yeah.
The offense it had a better year than the defense. Look at the numbers. 15th in yards, 17th in points. The defense, I think, was 18th in yards and 18th in points against and 25th in yards against, or something like that.
Yes.
So the offense and the offense at this point is definitely playing better than the defense overall, though at least we've seen the last 3 or 4 weeks. But that doesn't mean today that the defense, when called upon, might step up and help us carry us to a win. I mean, you think about the Washington game. The defense carried us to that. That was a must-win game. Kayvon Thibodeau carried us to that win. So every week, a different unit, a different player has stepped up. At the beginning of the year, everybody was saying, oh, it's Saquon Barkley carrying the load. And you and me both will defend Saquon Barkley to the death. We both love Saquon Barkley to death. There you go. But this team then evolved. Isaiah Hodgins, obviously Daniel Jones. Like this team just evolved over the course of the year, and everybody chipped in at some point.
Absolutely. And I think that's why also the future is so exciting, because you see flashes from all these parts of the team and sides of the football. And it's, if this team were to ever figure it all out and put it all together at once, I mean, my God, what a juggernaut it would create. We've had ridiculous games from the secondary, from the pass rush. We've had, in the beginning of the year, the run defense was actually good. Especially against Derrick Henry and Christian McCaffrey. And we've had games where the running attack is unbelievable. We've had multiple games over 200 yards rushing. We've seen Daniel Jones put up over 300 yards multiple times over the last month and a half or so. So we've seen a bunch of parts of the team just really hit off on all cylinders. And if it could ever happen all at once, my goodness, would that be fun to watch?
And we've seen 30 points twice in a row when the starters have played.
Yeah.
So
I got a question for you, actually. 2 questions for you.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Maybe it was when we were doing the Twitter space together, or maybe it might have been when you were doing your train at Tana and the dog, or one of those maybe, where you had said once you saw the Giants beat the 15-1 Packers, you were like, "There's something to this team. We could win it all."
Yeah.
I remember you saying that. That's like stuck with me ever since I heard you say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I think it was the same thing. Actually, no. In 07, I'm going to be completely honest with you. In 07, obviously, I was enjoying the ride. And when we beat the Cowboys, I did think there was a good chance we could beat the Packers, but I never thought we were beating the 18-0 Patriots.
Yeah.
But in 2011, yes, because I already had experienced what had taken place in 2007. Once we beat that 15-1 Packers team, like I built some confidence after we blew out the Falcons, but I still said, all right, it's the Packers, 15-1, Lambeau. Once we beat them in the method in which they did, there was no doubt in my mind. There was no doubt in my mind, whoever you put in front of us, we were going to win. Like that, I got fully convinced at that point in time that we were winning the Super Bowl.
Okay, so I guess my question would be, did anything from the Vikings game give you that kind of feeling, or do you need to see this team beat the Eagles first for you to really start to believe that?
I believe that we have a chance to win a Super Bowl. I'm not saying it's a great chance. I definitely don't feel nearly as strongly as I did in 2011, because I had already experienced it with that group of players. I had already experienced it with Eli Manning. There was already championship pedigree players on that team, and that team, had some really good talent. I mean, at certain parts of that squad. Now, we definitely have a lot of holes on that team, much like this one that a lot of fans choose to ignore when talking about this team. That team's offensive line was not very good. That team's running game was bad. And that team's defense from within the regular season, due to a lot of injuries, was not very good. Now, they got hot during the, at the end of the year. And then
just like this defense has.
Yeah, and then it kind of carried them throughout the playoffs.
Yeah.
If they were to win today, I'm going to be very confident going into the NFC title game. I'll say that. I'm going to be very confident going into the
Niners.
Don't care who it's against. If we win today, I am going to be full-blown overconfident with this team, and I think the players will be as well. I think the players will be bought in, because you have to say
they're really bought in. Yeah, the players believe they can absolutely win. The players probably believe they should win tonight, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, as a fan, how could you not? By no means am I going to say that we're guaranteed victory over the 49ers. I have tremendous respect for that football team, or the Cowboys, or whoever we play. But I'm going to go into that game saying, yeah, we can win this game. We have a very good chance to win this game if we beat the Philadelphia Eagles today. I will not be scared.
Okay. Well, and then, so I had a second question for you. So, that video that I sent you that I made, the YouTube video?
Yes. By the way, check. I should have your link ready. Hold on one second. I'm going to post the link, because Nicky just started a new channel. He's been a subscriber with me forever. And yeah, he's a smart guy, makes good content. So definitely check him out. I'm going to post a video right now for people to check out your channel after the.
I appreciate it, Chris. You didn't have to do that.
No, I'm going to do it real quick. But go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, all good. So I was doing a Twitter space last night with Mello, and we had come up on the conversation of the Colin Cowherd video that had gone around. And I brought up my video that I had made, and I was just saying a couple points to some of these Giants fans, and and I have love for all these guys. They're all super, super nice, but just some of them, it's like, I'm not talking bad about anybody, but it's almost like fans sometimes don't understand, and I don't know how it's still possible, that stats don't determine how good a player truly is. So, for example, I could give you examples on offense and on defense. Like, you could ask anyone that knows anything about the NFL, like that is inside the NFL, and they'll tell you that Julio Jones' best season was when he had like 13 or 1400 receiving yards, like the year after he had 1800 receiving yards. It wasn't even close. They're just players. The stats don't dictate how good you are. Same thing with like Vic Beasley was first team All Pro for the Falcons, had 16 sacks, and it was garbage. Like, it's very stats don't tell the
They
whole
only tell part of the story.
Exactly.
All,
So
all you have to do is look at Eli Manning. Like, if you just look at the box score, if you just look at the stat sheet, Eli Manning in 2015, if you're a fantasy, 2015, if you're a fantasy football guy and you just judge players based off of statistics, 2015 Eli was better than 2011 Eli. But
yeah,
anyone with a brain that watched both teams, you could even take the postseason out of it. Anyone with a brain that watched the two teams could distinguish that 2011 Eli was a much better quarterback than 2015 Eli.
Yeah.
2015 Eli had Odell Beckham, and the method in which Eli Manning, with all the other deficiencies on his roster, was able to overcome regular season games, win in New England. I mean, all the comeback wins he had that year before we even get to the postseason, in which he had the most yards in the history of football from within a regular season. He was a much better quarterback in 2011. So stats only tell half the story.
So this is where I'm going with that. I got into an argument with Giants fans last night on Twitter about why Richie. I don't trust me personally. Why I don't trust Richie James at all. I hate seeing him catch the football. I cringe and I clench up every time I see him catch the ball. Every single time. And I just explained as to why I feel that way. And you would have thought that I like come at these dudes' mothers. Like, it was the amount of backlash I got for saying that I don't like Richie James being my slot receiver at all. That I don't like seeing him run a comeback route. I don't like seeing him run a seam from the slot. Like, and then people were saying, well, I want you to go on Google right now. I want you to pull Richie James's, stat lines from the last 5 or 6 games. And I'm like, that doesn't prove anything to me. You could throw anybody in there and they'll be productive as a slot receiver, because a slot receiver, more times than not, unless you have a superstar X wide receiver, is the most targeted receiver on a football team. So anyone who's thrown in there, any replacement level starter is going to produce in that role. Also, might I add, a lot of Richie James's biggest catches have come just from being wide open over the middle. He's like 20 receptions, or 3 receptions of over 20 yards this year, and all of them are just, there's nobody around him and they're complete bust and coverage. Then he was schemed wide open and he just has a catch and run, like the one against the Colts, for example. And I was just saying that I don't trust him because he's so small and so frail. If he's running a dig route across the middle, Fred Warner in the NFC Championship game is going to knock his lights out. He's going to cough up the football, and I don't trust that. I trust Shep to take a hit over the middle because he's yoked and, he loves contact and stuff. Richie James doesn't love contact.
But Shep gets hurt a lot, though.
Yeah,
a lot of it's concussions.
He has like 30 pounds on Richie James. So, but what I do love is, and I think that Daniel Jones recognizes it, which was, by the way, one of the most brilliant calls I've ever seen from any quarterback audible ever, was when Daniel Jones checked out of that direct that handoff to Saquon, and he saw that the slot corner was coming on a blitz, and he just threw it. He checked out of it, and Saquon's like, "Where's the ball?" And DJ just threw it to Richie behind the line of scrimmage. That I love. I love those kinds of play for Richie James. That's where he's at his best. I do not want to see him running a comeback route or running a dig over the middle. I just hate it. It makes me cringe. He's not a scheme fit for it either. He was a scheme fit for more of what we did in the beginning of this season, when we were more of a ground and pound offense in the beginning, riding Saquon Barkley, and when our offense and our team was, we live and die by Saquon Barkley. The team has evolved. It turned into a quick passing attack. Now it's more of an intermediate passing attack with crossing routes like Sale and Yankee concepts over the middle, all that kind of stuff. And I don't like seeing Richie James going over the middle at all, because it's going to happen. And that's why I don't trust him. He also cost us the game in Seattle, and in my opinion, cost us the game in Minnesota when he dropped the 4th down pass in the 4th quarter in Vikings territory. So
here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say about Richie James. I value everything you're saying. He needs to be upgraded, but for what he is, he's given us as much as I could hope for this year.
Absolutely.
But I want an upgrade. I want an upgrade over Darius Slayton as well.
Yes.
We need to. I think everybody listening realizes we need to next year really start to improve this wide receiving core. Richie James is not on a good receiving core. He probably shouldn't be starting for you.
Yes.
But he's done as good of a job as I could hope for this year. He's also made some really good catches in tight windows, right? The 4th and 9 catch he made, that was kind of and it was a great throw by Jones, but that was a tightly contested ball
Sure.
that he was able to haul in. The catch, I think it was against Washington, that set up the long field goal for Gano at the end to try to win it when it was 2020 in overtime. That was enough. So he's made some nice catches as well. But overall, I mean, I agree in the sense that we definitely need to upgrade his spot on the roster next year. There's no doubt about it.
There's one player now that, like, there used to be a sense of just security. Like when Eli used to, and also to our previous conversation, I guess kind of the reason why I'm a little bit more pessimistic about our playoff run we're going on right now than most fans are. I woke up Monday and I was like, we're going to get blown up by the Eagles. And I've been convinced since then, because I hear a lot of people in the media and in the Giants community talking so positively. But I wasn't old enough to appreciate those Giants runs they went on and get the sense of an eerie feeling because I wasn't really there to witness them. I remember one play from either Super Bowl run, and it was the Manningham catch on the sideline. But I digress. The only player right now that I trust when I see DJ throwing the ball is Isaiah Hodgins. He's the slowest receiver on the team. Like,
he's good.
I still feel almost insecure about watching DJ throw the ball to other players. Like, I can only imagine what it was like watching Eli throw to Cruz, Nix, and Manningham. You must feel like, yeah, this guy's going to toast whoever's on him, and it's going to be a 15-yard completion like every single time. Right now with our receiving core, I'm like bracing for impact. That I guess I could still be shell-shocked from Evan Ingram for him causing so many interceptions, but I still feel like right now I'm bracing for the worst every time DJ lets go of the ball.
I agree. Overall, I agree with you for the year, but right now, I don't feel that way.
Okay.
Right now, today, the way this team is playing, the way that Kafka is scheming these guys open, and tonight is going to be much harder. We know that. There's a much better defense. Guys are not going to be running as open as they were against Minnesota. I think they've done as good of a job as I could have hoped for with this receiving core. I'm not going to put it on the players. I'm going to put it more on the fact that Dave Gettleman put us in a position where we had so many holes on this team that you could only address a certain amount in one offseason, especially with the cap limitations that we had. Yeah. And these guys have given me everything I could have hoped for. And I'm glad that they were able to do that to get me to this spot. But trust me, I'm going to be pounding the table this offseason strongly to severely upgrade this wide receiving core.
Oh, yeah.
We need massive upgrades.
My receiver video is coming out very soon. So I'm really excited for that.
And MYG31 says, Giants all day, let's go. Thank you so much, man. Phenopolis says the Philadelphia Evils. Oh, it was not a typo. My mistake.
Yeah.
Good call by you. And Bandit says, what do you think, Chris? Should I paint DJ with all the horrible headlines and slander clippings from over the years in the background? Let's go, Big Blue. Yeah, man, hopefully DJ does that. But, yeah, I mean, listen, I think that's part of being a Giants fan is having played. Eli was like that. I mean, not that I'm saying it was identical. Eli was much more well received when he was drafted by Giants fans, but people doubted him every step of the way throughout his career. And I think that's what kind of draws it. At least it draws me a lot more to DJ in terms of my love for him as a player, is how doubted he's been along the way by members of the fan base, by members from the national media. And this year he's such a hard worker. And I'm so happy. I'm happy for him and Saquon more so than anybody else on this team.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, Chris.
With everything they've had to endure throughout their careers as New York Giants, for them now to have this opportunity and to play. You think back to that drive last week, Nikki. You think back to that drive last week, and I've spoke about it from the context of Daniel Jones. Also speak about it from the context of Saquon Barkley. Them as a pair. For the New York Giants to be down 7-0 with everything that these guys have endured since they've been New York Giants in a playoff game, to start the drive up with a holding penalty, be first and 20 at your own 15-yard line, and then to have a flawless drive between the both of them to just march down the field and score a touchdown. I couldn't be happier for both of those guys, and they deserve whatever contract they're going to get in the offseason. They've worked their butts off. They've represented this New York Giants organization incredibly well. They've never pointed the finger at anybody. They've worked hard, and I'm damn proud that they're New York Giants, and I hope they continue to be. So I'm really happy for both of those guys, the work they've put in and the stuff that they've had to take on as members of this franchise.
Yeah. And about the opening drive in Minnesota, as soon as Saquon broke that touchdown, I knew we were in for a shootout. Just the way that both defenses had looked, really more credit to the offenses, honestly. After that point, I knew that it was going to be a shootout and that our two biggest names are going to have to show up, and they absolutely did. I love it. I feel like Saquon and DJ they're tied at the hip now, almost kind of like how you want a coach and a GM to be, that they're tied at the hip. And I feel like they've, gone through this battle, both of them through injuries, Saquon more so, but doubt from everyone in the public, their own fan bases, being called busts, and that both of them together have had these, career seasons. And I'm really, really happy for the both of them. Watching Saquon, just, do whatever he wants to Minnesota. And the same thing with DJ in the playoffs. And then having the entire week of actually seeing the national media talk about Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley, I just felt so good for them, whether it was good or bad. I just love that they got their recognition, because no one works harder than them. You'd be hard-pressed to find anyone in the NFL that works harder for them. They're model citizens. They're role models for so many young Giants fans out there. And they're guys that you want to represent your franchise, both on the field and off the field. And they've had to endure so much. I'm just so happy for them.
Oh, dude. I'm ecstatic that both those guys have had the success that they had. Max is extremely concerned about Holmes tonight. You should be. You should be concerned about Holmes most nights. He's a good tackler, but he gets lost in coverage. Feels like he alone could be the reason we lose this one. I'm not going to say that. I don't think he alone. But certainly a guy I worry about. I'm interested to see what they try to do defensively. I really am.
Go ahead.
I want to hear what you think. Go ahead.
I think Flott is going to get a boatload more snaps. I think
agree.
in obvious passing downs, you're going to see Flott in there over Darnay this game. I do love Darnay, actually. I love both of them, Flott and Darnay, but they're very different skill sets. Darnay is not in there because of his ability to cover. Now, he has the tools besides the height and length, but he has the motor, and he has the effort, and he has the speed and the athleticism to be a good nickel corner. However, he doesn't have the natural feel for the position. Like a guy like Flott, he has the natural feel. You can just see with some guys that they have a swagger, and when that's a DB, that more times than not, they have a natural feel for the position. A guy like, not that I'm comparing him to Sauce Gardner, but guys like Sauce Gardner and Derek Stingley, when you watch their college tape, they just knew that they were that dude. Like, they just knew it, and they carry themselves like it. Flott is very similar, and he has a natural feel for the position. Darnay is has more talent than Flott for days. But Flott just has a natural feel for the position. Just kind of like,
I don't know, man. You think Darnay?
You can argue that Zach
Darnay
Wilson
has more natural raw ability? I actually think the opposite. I'm not at this point. I agree. Darnay's a more developed player, as he should be. He's been in the league now and Flott's a project, but I think Flott has a ton of potential.
Yeah, a potential. I'm just talking about measure.
Yeah, in terms of today, because he's not as developed.
Darnay is the guy that runs the 4-4 and is and fast and twitchy. And a guy like Flott is just more fluid and relies on instinct. Darnay doesn't have that instinct. That's what Flott has. He has length and he has instinct. Darnay doesn't have the size, but he has the athleticism. That's the difference. So a guy like Darnay, that's also why Darnay's motor is why he's in the game. Because he gives 110% and he's a great tackler and he can read screens.
He's a very good tackler. I'll give him credit for that.
That is why he's in the game. He is not in there to cover anybody. He's not in there to cover Quez Watkins. That will be Cordell Flott, in my opinion. He is in there for when A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith get frustrated they can't separate from Adoree Jackson, that they're going to have to start throwing them the ball behind the line of scrimmage, just like what happened to Justin Jefferson. He couldn't separate and he was getting double teamed. They started having to throw him the ball behind the line of scrimmage. So that's what those downs, when the Wink sees that maybe that's what's going to start happening to the Eagles offense, that they're going to start throwing the ball behind the line of scrimmage. Also keep in mind, much more likely because of Jalen's injury to his shoulder, that's when you'll see Darnay in there to make those tackles. When it's an obvious passing down, like a third down and long, I would bet my money that Flott's in there, not Darnay.
I hope so, because I like Flott. I think Flott, we talk about, and even if Flott pans out, which I think he's gonna.
Yeah, me too.
We still need corner help. There's no doubt about it, because you don't know how long Adoree is going to be here. He's a free agent after next year. I like Aaron Robinson, too, if he could stay on the field. I think he'd be a great slot corner. I really do, and I think he'd fit this defense incredibly well. Very physical.
Better than any corner that Gettleman ever drafted for us.
Yeah,
I drafted a few.
I think Aaron Robinson, and I'm very high on Robinson. I remember when I saw his highlights after we drafted him, especially when I found out we brought in Wink, but I just think he was playing out of position, out of necessity. I think he's better in the slot. Next year, if Robinson is healthy, oh, man. Like, I think he can help this secondary.
Man. Yeah.
He could help this secondary in a big way. And I'm a big fan of Flott, rather. I think Flott could be really good. He's got like you said, he just kind of has that. He has that. You just see it. It's not even just about his raw physical ability. He just has that.
It's not.
I don't
It's
really
an instinct and
confidence.
it's a confidence about the position.
He's got that confidence about him, and he's got the length. He's got the speed. He's got pretty good size. I'm a fan of Flood. I think he's going to develop into something big. And the coolest thing about last week for me, from a defensive standpoint, our two rookies made arguably the two most important plays on defense in that entire game.
Yeah.
The play before that, you forget about. Obviously, everybody thinks about the flop pass breakup, which was tremendous. Was the play of the game from a defensive standpoint in that spot. 3rd and 8, getting them the 4th down. But the play before that, Dane Belton makes a great one-on-one tackle. He's one-on-one. If he misses that tackle, he's going for 15, 20 yards. Yeah. He was able to force him out of bounds. So both rookies contributed in a big way on that last drive. I'm excited for Belton as well. I think he could develop into something new.
And it's really interesting, too, because I know a lot of people have said it. Davis himself said it. It's really awesome that Flott came in for the first time in the game, and he had that play, that pass breakup. But even Dane Belton, for an even larger point, would be Belton disappeared on the depth chart forever, for the half the season almost. And people on Twitter were like, did Dane Belton just fall off the face of the earth? Where is he? Because he was gone. He got benched. And Dane Belton comes in, and he had a good game. And he was able to make that play, which is awesome. Which, it makes you wonder almost. A lot of times when players get benched, they have a sense of resentment towards their teammates, the person that replaces them, the coaches for making the decision. But you see that happen with our guys all of the time, and they are still putting 100% effort in no matter what. And that is a personality trait that Brian Daboll has, which is one of the biggest reasons why he's going to be a great head coach, is because he knows how to work people and build relationships and navigate relationships and navigate muddy waters in those relationships. That's why I have so much confidence in him.
And you're absolutely right. And all you got to know in terms of him being a relationship builder, or whatever term you want to use, in terms of him being a guy that is so respected by his players, look at Kenny Golladay. Look at Kenny Golladay. This is a guy who makes $72 million a year. This is a guy that has already made his money. This is a guy that has every reason in the world to just be like, all right, I'm checking out this season. And a lot of players in his exact situation probably would have. 100%. I think a large reason why he is not is because of Brian Daboll. And you see when Kenny Golladay made the touchdown catch, the last regular season game, and of course we saw the great block by Golladay this past week. And this is not to say that Golladay has played great as a Giant. No, it's one of the worst contracts in football. But who's over there on the bench hugging him? The second he comes to the bench after he catches the touchdown, see the embrace between the head coach that said, no, you're not good enough to start on my football team at the beginning of the year, between him and David Sills and Kenny Golladay after he caught that touchdown, and see how much they respect one another. That goes a long way towards Brian Daboll. And then the other thing I'll say, last game against the Vikings, what happens? Darius Slayton, huge drop. And Darius Slayton would have gotten crucified rightfully so, by everybody in the fan base, by the media, if the New York Giants lose that football game. But what does Daboll do? The second that they cut to the sideline with Darius Slayton holding his head down, you could see how upset he was, how pissed off he was, because he knows in his head, I just may have blown the playoff game for this football team. Brian Daboll goes over there, he hugs him, says, keep your head up. Little things like that. You go back to week 1 with Daniel Jones, same thing. He gave him the tough love. You've seen it all year with this head coach. He's been tremendous. Tremendous.
Yeah. And it's also really important to know what style is appropriate. So if that were to happen in practice, Slayton has that drop, he's getting reamed out, no question. He just is. But in a game when you might need the ball back and you need him and you have to build that player up, especially knowing receiver is a very mental position. It's a lifetime when you're running a go route and you see a ball that's floating in the air. You have all the time in the world to think and start getting in your head too much. And that's how drops happen a lot of times. You start thinking too much. And if something like that happens and he gets reamed out and he's like, I can't make this mistake again. He gets tight. And Daboll had just reamed him out. He's having another drop. It's going to happen. Same Brett Maher got in his head, obviously missing 4 extra points. Seeing you react to those was awesome, by the way. That was so freaking hilarious. I loved it.
That was the highlight of the stream, getting to laugh at the Cowboys picker, because it couldn't laugh at much else
awesome.
with the Cowboys.
So just seeing Brian Daboll know what to do, but know that all positions aren't created the same. And in that situation, picking up Slayton, but seeing him know in another situation when he reams out Daniel Jones for the red zone pick against Tennessee, like him knowing what is appropriate is just that's a leader.
He's got a great feel for people.
Yeah, that's not obviously. I'm not saying Dayball for president, but like maybe
I am.
but that's the kind of leadership qualities that you want in a leader of a giant group of people. That's what makes great presidents when they can lead you through a crisis, lead a group of people through a crisis, and you bring people together. And when your team is going to have a defensive stand now after an offensive player just made a huge mistake, you need a calm, steady head to lead you through the storm. That's exactly what Dayball is.
Not to talk politics, Nikki, but seeing the guys that have been running, you put Dayball as the third party, I'm voting for him.
Absolutely. Are you kidding me?
I've seen the way that this guy can lead men, and he's got my vote. So
absolutely.
Now the only issue I'd have is it would hurt his ability to coach the New York Giants. So maybe I wouldn't vote for him. And Desmond says in 2008, the Eagles beat the Vikings in the first round, then played us next week at Giants Stadium. We lost that game. Now the situation is reversed. Yeah, I talked about that earlier. 2008, the same exact situation, only like you said, it's reversed. Now we're the team that's going up against the team that is having their dream season. That 2008 New York Giants team is the best pound-for-pound team since I've been watching the team that I've seen. I don't go back to the LT days. They were top 5 on both offense and defense. They were dominant. And obviously Burr shooting himself, slowed down that team a bit. Much like Hurts getting hurt this year, kind of slowed down the Eagles a bit.
I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
If Burris doesn't shoot himself, do you think we end up winning Super Bowl 46? Like, do you think there's a chain reaction?
Like I've talked about that before, and I'm leaning no. Actually, now we may have had a three-peat had Burris never shot himself because we may have won that Super Bowl, and who knows what we do? You have confidence at that point. You've won 2 in a row. Maybe you actually become. I think it would be the first team in the history of football to win 3 straight Super Bowls. Who knows? We never even won the second one. We never got that chance because Burris shot himself. But the reason I say no to the 2011 Super Bowl, if Burris never shot himself, I don't think Victor Cruz ever exists. And if he does, Hakeem Nicks never exists. Because if Burris was still on the team, you're not spending a first-round pick on Hakeem Nicks. So maybe you want to argue Cruz would have been here, but then you would have had a more aged Plaxico Burris, and you either wouldn't have had Nicks or you wouldn't have had Victor Cruz.
And Burris isn't bouncing off tacklers and running it in for a touchdown in Green Bay. Like that exactly. That's not happening. You wouldn't be able to do that. Nicks was able to do that. And you don't find Cruz. You're right. Maybe Steve Smith signs on and it wouldn't have costed as much to keep Steve Smith after he wouldn't have had a Pro Bowl season because, a guy like Burris may have been getting the target. So exactly. You never know what can happen. So again, I know a lot of Giants fans like to talk about, what if, but I don't know if we get that Super Bowl if Burris doesn't shoot himself, and there's no guarantee we win the Super Bowl in 2008 either. So
there's no guarantee. You never know. And I'm glad that we got 2. I'm very happy we got 2. And Desmond, man, thank you very much. Eric says, I'm so pumped up for this game. Eric, I'm telling you right, I couldn't sleep. I was tweeting out at 2 a.m. thinking about this game. I woke up at like 8 a.m. still thinking about this game.
Yeah, I saw you were up. I was like, my gosh, Chris, get some sleep.
I couldn't sleep. I've been thinking Giants all week.
Yeah.
Can't help it. I've been thinking about this game all week, and if we win, I'm going to be thinking about next week's game. That's part of it. That's part of a playoff run. Welcome. For anybody that's never experienced this before, welcome to the experience. And hopefully we get to experience a lot more of these together.
Oh,
when your team's going on a run and you're starting to play your best football and you're starting to see things that you didn't see during the regular season, I can't get it out of my head. All I'm thinking about is playoff runs past, Nikki. I'm saying to myself, if we ever won tonight, Nikki, I'm going full bloom in love. And I'm going to tell you what, Nikki, I said it on Twitter, and I mean it. If this Giants team were ever to win the Super Bowl, this would be my favorite individual Giants team since I've been watching the team. And that goes back to about 96. That tops the 07 team because of everything that this team has had to overcome. The 10 years of nothingness and the expectations going into this year. If this team were ever able to go on that miracle run, I'd be flabbergasted. And that's nearly impossible to top that 07 team for me, but I think it would.
So I think I remember you had said that in one of the streams, and I had commented, and I was asking if you and Bad Dog both were saying the same thing. This would probably be your favorite team ever. And I think I asked you guys, is that just because of the 6 years of garbage that we've had to endure?
That's part of it. That's part of it. That's part
Is
of the
it
experience.
recency bias? You know, like that's the kind of thing I'm like.
But I think that I for at least in me, and everybody's got their own interpretation, everybody's got their own opinion. For me, that's part of the reason why this team has been so special for me, is to overcome so quickly to just snap your finger, and this team has gone from literally the worst team in football over the last 5 years when you combine the record. I can't imagine anybody had a worse record.
Them
To
and the
being,
Jets, I think, were tied or something like that.
yeah, and then to claim the ultimate prize the first year with a new regime, like with the expectations we had going into this year, like, I mean, how could you get much more special than that?
Yeah.
I mean, my God, somebody just told me that Ian Rappaport posted something. I'm trying to find it. Something about Jalen Hurts, which would be huge news for this game. Yeah, let's play this for you guys real quick for anybody that wow. Okay, here we go, guys. So this just came out from Ian Rappaport about 20 minutes ago. I'm going to share this on the screen. It's a video from Ian Rappaport talking about Jalen Hurts in today's game.
See it.
Did have several rushes here. Rich, Jalen Hurts is going to play for the Eagles this weekend, but he's not going to be 100%. Here's why. Still dealing with that SC joint sprain, of course, caused him to miss week 16 and 17, was back week 18. Did have several rushes, but looked a little tentative, just did not appear to be himself. The good news is he is off the injury report this week, which designates players as 100% and ready to go. But there is a real question, is that the case? And in fact, listen to the words of Hurts himself. He said this week, he is going to have to play hurt. The thing to watch, Rich, is how tentative is he when he's got to have it? When he's running the ball, is he himself? Does he fight for that extra yard, or does he pull back just a little bit? That might be a determining factor today.
So there you go. That came out today from her. I mean, and take for what you will. Like, the Eagles aren't going to release any information.
Yeah, for sure.
Take for what you will. Yeah,
I will say, I hope he plays the whole game for this one reason. And no one will ever convince me this otherwise. My dad tells me I'm crazy. I don't know. Whenever a quarterback comes out of the game and the backup comes in, they look like they're freaking Pat Mahomes. It just happens.
yeah.
Remember that Tampa Bay game, was it DJ's rookie year where Winston almost has the comeback against us? That was the Janoris Jenkins blank fondue from
Yeah.
He comes in. Mike White comes in for Zach Wilson. They didn't game plan for that quarterback. So it's not that there's no film on the quarterback. It's just you're not prepared to stop what the offense is going to be running with that quarterback, because they're not running the same plays that you're game planning for. So when another quarterback comes in, it happens again with us almost every single time. It happened when I think we were playing Washington, and it was like Alex Smith went down, and maybe like Taylor Heineke came in and he had a couple good drives. Something similar with Dwayne Haskins happened. Like, it just happens, Same thing. Cowboys, Dak goes down, injured. We're winning. What happens? Andy Dalton leads the comeback. So that's where I'd be a little bit hesitant.
Here's what I'll say about Hurts in this game. And I don't think he's 100%, but I think he's definitely going to do whatever he's got to do. So I don't expect his style of play. And at this point in the year, most players aren't 100%, right? So I don't expect his style of play to be much different than what we've seen in the regular season. I think they're going to use his legs. I think they're going to, that at least my expectations going into the game. But if you're the Giants, you've got to test it.
Yes.
You've got to test it. If he has if you have any shot to get a hit on this guy, you take it and you try to knock the ever-living crap out of him. I'm not saying to injure him, but if you could put any kind of hesitation in the back of his head, if he is hurt, if he is, say, 70%, and you give him a big shot to that shoulder, he may say to himself, all right, I better not do that again. Or he may hesitate for an extra second before he decides to run. So, and if you're the Giants, you got to put him to the test early on.
Exactly. You need Dex to hit him. But what you're hoping for, Giants fans, just so you know, it's not the playbook is limited for the Eagles. That's not at least what I'm hoping for, that the playbook is limited because Jalen Hurts is injured. What I'm hoping for is that he tries something he shouldn't be trying, and then the defense capitalizes on that mistake. And whether it's an interception or a fumble, or he hurts himself worse than he thought he would because his shoulder isn't as healed as he would like to, because the painkillers are numbing the pain and he can't gauge how really injured he is, that kind of stuff. That's the stuff where the Giants can get an advantage because of that. He tries a deep ball on a weird from maybe his throwing side deep ball, because those are much harder than away side deep balls. You're trying that to A.J. Brown and you can't get quite enough on it, or you lead him too far inside. X comes in and snags it. That kind of stuff. That's what you really should be hoping for.
100%. Eric says, I'm so pumped up for this game. Let's go, Giants. Got my beer ready. I got to buy my beer before the game. Let's get this win tonight. Wearing my Daniel Jones jersey. Well, you know, I'm already got my DJ jersey on, Eric, and I'm sure you do too. By the way, anybody that's listening, and I will be wearing the shades, Nikki, at halftime because it worked last week. But anybody that is listening, you do whatever you did last week. If you went to the bathroom at 5:08 p.m., you go to the bathroom at 5:08 p.m. You wear the same socks, you wear the same underwear, you wear the same jersey, you wear the same hat. We're all in this together, Nikki. You gotta help the team as best you can. I'm very superstitious. You do whatever you got to do to help this team win today.
Okay, so then I have a question for you. Number one, I'm gonna wear my Saquon jersey. I wore that during the last game. I have my Saquon jersey on. What I have on that is different right now is I have my white Xavier McKinney Color Rush T-shirt on underneath. Now, do I take that off because I didn't wear it last week? Yes.
Okay. You can wear it up till game time.
Okay. So then here's the other thing. I showered at halftime during the Vikings game.
You take a shower.
You stink.
The shower.
Hopped on here.
Halftime, you take a shower. You do whatever you did. You do whatever you did. You go take a shower at halftime. That's your halftime adjustment. My halftime adjustment is the shades. Your halftime adjustment is a shower. I'd much rather have to take a shower than wear these ridiculous shades on YouTube. So you do what you got to do.
I guess I got to take a shower now. I'm going to take a shower for the Giants. No, not even for the Giants. For all of you loyal subscribers of Chris the Entertainer, I'm going to take a shower at halftime for you guys, for you to get a Giants win tonight. That's what I'm going to do for you guys tonight.
We're in this together, Giants fans. Let's go. Patrick says, Giants will need to upgrade the wide receiver via draft trade. Out of the current group, who might stay for the – I mean, I think it's obvious who's going to stay. I mean, Hodgins is definitely staying, and Wan'Dale Robinson is definitely staying. We just drafted him. After that, your guess is as good as mine. Will one or two stay? It's possible. Could Shepard stay? I think it's possible. I
think he's going to. I think he's actually going to.
Like that. I don't think he's going to be a big piece in terms of what they're looking to do, but could he be a fifth wide receiver on next year's roster on a very cheap salary? Yeah. Slayton, it'll come down to his market. I'd like Slayton back if it was for $3 million a year, $4 million a year. But with how thin the wide receiving group is in terms of free agency, my guess is he's going to get more than that. And if you're the Giants with all the other players we have to sign, it's probably not in their best interest to sign him for that.
Agreed.
So we'll see. We'll see what his market is and everybody else's. But I think the two core guys for sure will be Hodgins and Robinson. And then, like you said, Patrick, a lot of our other guys that we're going to depend heavily on, we're going to have to add, whether it be the draft, free agency, trade.
Yeah.
I expect them to add 2 impact wide receivers that are not currently on this team.
Oh, at least. I think the over-under is probably 2.5, honestly. That's the over-under for me. And also Colin Johnson coming back too.
I was going to bring him up. Yeah, I was just about to say him. Yeah. One guy that might be part of that 2.5 will be Colin Johnson, who obviously has some familiarity playing in this offense. Obviously got hurt before the year started, but he looked really good in training camp. And we all know that Dable clearly after year 1 values that. So I would hope that he gets another opportunity next year because I went to training camp. I got to see him play. And as much as I wasn't trying to overrate him, because that's what you do in training camp. There's always like these guys in training camp that, have these great training camp performances and people fall in love with them. And then they're like, how did they cut the guy? So I was trying not to like go overboard with my praise for Colin Johnson, but all 3, I think I went to 3 practices. I went to at least 2. I think I went to 3. Every practice I went to, he was the guy that stood out the most to me. And he was making really tough contested catches. So he's a guy that, I'd like to see get another opportunity with the New York Giants next year.
Can you explain to me really quickly again how you got your profile picture of you holding up your phone like this?
All right. So while I was at you saw the video. Did you see the video?
No, I don't think that I did.
You didn't see the Giants video?
I don't think so.
Oh, no. I got to show it to you real quick. Hold on.
All right.
It's hysterical. Because everybody pointed it out to me. And if you look at the comments in the video, every single one of them are about me on the Giants YouTube, or on the Giants YouTube page because this was made by the New York Giants.
Yeah.
So
I have, who you are. You know that they do, obviously.
I don't know if they do or don't. But after I watched the video, I was convinced, they know who I am. I just got to see if I could find it real quick because they flashed to me in the middle of the video, and they don't show any other fans throughout the entire video. The whole video is player clips.
That's awesome.
And the one time that they flashed to the crowd, I'm dead center. Now, Sam Prince was in there as well, but I'm like dead center. And that picture that you see of me on my profile picture, that's that's me in the crowd during that video.
So the face that you're making, like, what are you seeing or recognizing? Because it's like what are you reacting to?
I think it was oh, there it is. Okay, so I got the video. I'm just gonna play the whole video. It's only 2 minutes, so
Okay.
because that way you get like the feel for the video.
Yeah.
So it was just funny, and everyone was dying of laughter when they saw it. And if you go to the video, you see all these comments in it. They're like, "Oh, Tana. And I was just dying of laughter. But yeah, here's the video. It's just.
Hey, John, something. 1, 2, 3, John.
All right, so you get this. So it's just all like clips of training camp. That's a good play. Richie James.
There he is.
There's Jihad Ward.
Hottie.
There I am, right there.
Uh,
The only time they cut to the crowd, the whole video,
they know who you are, Chris.
and then they go right back to the field. So like naturally, everybody in the comments is like, Tana. So it's just funny.
So to your point, Sam Prince is not right next to you. He is off to the side of you.
Yeah, he's like 2 seats over.
So, but what are you reacting to? Like, what is the cause of the facial expression that
All
you're
right.
in?
So while they were filming that, I had my phone up because I was streaming the practice. So I was streaming the practice with my phone because I was trying to tilt it this way and I wasn't getting good video footage. So I had it like this. And so that was me. But my reaction, I think it was, if I recall, I think it was like a really good throw by Daniel Jones. So I was like, really excited. But that's why I was holding my phone out like that, is because I was streaming it for people here. I was streaming the practice, which the next time I went back there, they told me you can't do that anymore. But I was streaming the practice to give.
They know who you are, Chris. They do. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it wasn't just me specifically. There were signs all over, like you can't film the practices, can't film the practices. But yeah, that's what I was doing. I was trying to give people a look into training camp.
It was a good throw by Daniel Jones. That's pretty rare considering the fact that Wake Martindale knew all of the plays that DJ was running.
It's true. They intentionally made him look bad during training camp. Out of the 3 days, he looked bad. 2 of them that I went. The third day, he looked really good, and that was the day I think he looked really good.
Yeah.
True Apple says, I've worn a JPP twice this year. Colts and Vikings are only 2 30-point games. I take all the credit for this, as you should. And you keep wearing it, True Rapplers. But you deserve more credit than anybody else on this team. So
you've done the Giants fandom a huge service, True Rapplers. Thank you very much.
You keep doing that, man. And Patrick says, in terms of numbers, what will Sexy Dexy get? I mean, listen, Sexy Dexy's going up against arguably, one, if not the best, one of the best interior offensive lines in the National Football League. Kelsey's a monster. But I do think he'll fare better this time around for the simple reason he didn't have Leonard Williams last time.
I think he's getting a sack and a half this game, actually. I was talking about this last night. For the simple fact that, number one, law of averages. Last time Jason Kelsey played against Dexter Lawrence, he shut him down when they were 1-1. Like zeros across the board for Dexter. No pressures, no nothing. Jason Kelsey really shut him down. I don't think that's the case this time. And the pass rush is healthier and better this time. So I think Dex is going to be able to capitalize. Jalen Hurts also, the factor of him being injured, not necessarily because of his arm, but just it's going to mess with him mentally, and he's not going to have maybe as much of a feel for the pocket or know what the right decision is. A little more hesitation. I think Dex gets there a couple of times tonight.
I don't know what his stats are going to be. I think tonight he's going to look a lot better than he did the last time around against the Eagles because Leonard's there.
Yeah.
With Leo there, that changes everything because Leo is one of the better defensive tackles in all of football. You pair him with Dexter Lawrence, that makes them much harder to block against.
Yeah.
So I think that will have a positive impact tonight on him. Now, it's still going to be a challenge. I don't think they're going to completely demolish the Eagles' offensive line. It's a great offensive line, but I think they're going to play very well. And JD, man, hope you're doing well. I actually talked to him on the phone before the live stream. He's been on my channel before. He's a great guy. I know he's at work. He says, check Jordan Renon's tweet on the line. Love it. Can't wait. JD, man, thank you very much. Let's pull up Renon real quick. Maybe he's got something cool to say.
And really quick, Chris, if we can do even what we just did to Kirk Cousins, we didn't sack him at all, but He was feeling the pressure the entire game. If we can even do something like that, that's a huge, huge W in the win column for us in this battle.
Of course, listen, you don't realize it until after the game and you watch the game back. We got tons of interior pressure.
Tons.
He just wasn't sacked a lot because they were getting the ball out quick.
It was Leo the first half and Dex the second half.
Yeah, and even though we didn't get sacks, it definitely influenced them being able to throw the ball down the field.
And
him
Leo
having,
is a very good player. He is a very good player.
Oh, Leo's great. Leo's great.
Yeah.
So let me read a couple of these Renan tweets. He says the spread for the Giants Eagles is up to 8. So it was 7.5. So the betting public is betting on the Eagles. Philly, pretty big favorites. Money obviously coming in on their side. They were 7.5. This tweet is from an account that I blocked. Pat Leonard. There you go. You know I blocked him now. Jordan Renan says the water is back on. So they turned the water back on in Philadelphia, as reported by Pat Leonard. I'm assuming this is the tweet he was talking about because it's got 5,230 likes.
I know you were talking smack before about the disgusting franchise and city, all that stuff, that they were probably behind all that stuff. What do you really think happened? Do you think it was just a coincidence?
No, I don't think it was a coincidence.
Really?
There's no way. Oh, yeah, no. There is no way that the New York Giants, and this was the tweet, the Giants team hotel had no water per sources, so that's legitimate. Busted pipe, no showers this morning. They're working on fixing it.
Like the team sent
let me ask you a question.
Or like fans did it on their own accord. Like, what do you really
Well, that might have been, yeah, maybe it's not the hotel. It might be the fans. But let me ask you this, Nikki. How many hotels have you stayed at in your life? Probably a good amount.
Oh, a lot, yeah, for sure.
Have you ever had that happen to you? It's never happened to me.
I had dirty bathwater one time like 12 years ago. But one time, and I've probably stayed at like 30 or 40 hotels in my life.
I've probably stayed at over 100 in my life. Never happened to me. So what are the chances that the New York Giants, on the day that they're playing the Philadelphia Eagles, they have that problem?
Yeah.
Come on. Something happened. And hopefully that gives the New York Giants a lot more motivation to go out there and kick their ass tonight.
No, I hope so. Oh my gosh, yeah. I just want to see Landon Collins just like take somebody's head off over the middle so bad. I'm going to get up and scream so much louder for that than if Saquon breaks an 80-yarder. Like just seeing LC just nail somebody, knock them on their ass like he did in college at Alabama. Oh my gosh, that would feel good.
His interception this year was the pick six. Fantastic.
I got that on video. I sent you the Kayvon sack, right?
Yeah, you did.
I got the LC pick. Actually, unfortunately, I thought I had hit record. And I hadn't, but it was up. I meant to record it. I didn't get him catching the ball, but I got him running it all the way in for the touchdown. That was pretty cool. But I didn't get the whole thing. It still stings. It's so rare. The odds are so low of this play. You whip out your phone to record, and something huge is going to happen that play. And I did it, and I missed hitting record, and I was so mad at myself, man. Oh,
oh man. Now, I've told the story on my channel before. But it just so happens during that play, nobody was sitting next to me because everybody was up doing something.
You're going like this.
I was running the whole row. Like I had like 12 rows empty to me to the left. So I was running with Collins to the end zone.
Yeah.
Nelly says, Tana, I'm so pumped. Can't freaking wait for this game. Although I'm watching with my boyfriend, an Eagles fan. Nelly. I've met Nelly. She's great too. I met her at, I think it was the Giants-Eagles game last year, which is probably why you went. Nelly, come on. There are so many good-looking Giants fans. Oh. So many. And I'm sure he's a great guy. We got to change him.
No. He's an Eagles fan, Chris. No.
Yeah, he's not a good guy.
No.
Not today, at least. I'm sure, that maybe, hopefully we could flip him. Maybe you'll make him a Giants fan, but we got to work on that, Nelly. We got to work on that. She says, I'm wearing my Kayvon jersey, so pumped. Nelly, as long as you wore that Kayvon jersey last week, have at it. Whatever you wore last week, that's what I want you to wear this week.
To be fair, my ex-girlfriend was a Cowboys fan, and I converted her to a Giants fan. So it can happen. It can be done.
That must be tough, man. Bill, my man. I love Bill, man. Thank you so much for being here, man. Thank you for all the support you always show. So generous and always in my streams. Always support me, Bad Dog, and I'm sure so many other Giants content creators. Says, Chris, you're the top Giants content creator on YouTube. Man, I appreciate that, man. Giants organization definitely knows who you are and watches. Excellent way for them to stay connected to their fan base, which is how they all get paid. Oh, I know some of the players watch, Bill. For sure, I know some of the players watch because I've had players reach out to me, notably Kadarius Toney. But also Nick Gates, I know watches because I've heard from Patricia Traina. Real cool story. This is probably the coolest thing I ever heard as a content creator since I've been on YouTube. Because I do the weekly show with Pat.
Oh, and that by the way is like the greatest live streams. I'm in the gym listening to them every single time. I love it.
You love it?
Most
Good.
people have on like music to get them hype. I have on Train a Tane and the Dog when I'm in the gym. It gets me so hype.
But yeah, so like after the show, she told me the story of what Nick Gates said. So they're in the locker room, and Nick Gates comes up to her and he goes, "Who's that guy?" And I think this was before Bad Dog was on the show. I think it was just me and her. I could be wrong. Maybe Bad Dog was. But I think he said, "Who was that guy?" And he goes, "Who is that guy on your channel?" And I guess she had done like, you know how she does like several shows on her channel, so she didn't automatically like put it with me. And she was like, "Oh, who are you talking about? So and so, so and so." He said, "No, that other guy, the Giants fan." And then she was like, "Oh, you're talking about Tana?" And he goes, "The guy you did the live show with." He goes, "Yeah, him." He goes, "That guy knows his shit." And then when I hear that Nick Gates is saying that, I'm like, that's a compliment. So that was cool. That was cool.
Chris, that's awesome. And him and the guys from Talking Giants, they're all buddy. They're
yeah, they've had him on the show.
Yeah.
And I love Bobby and
Did
Justin.
they interview Andrew Thomas too or something?
Yeah, they did. They interviewed him in the bus during training camp.
Yeah.
Patrick says, "I meant contract numbers. I apologize." Let me pull up your last super chat so I could put it in context. Here we go. In terms of numbers, what was? I apologize for not. I thought you meant sack numbers tonight. Contract numbers. I've gone over this before, and it's real quick. I could tell you right now what he's going to get. So whenever I look at project what I think a guy's going to get, I look at the top of the market because that's what he's going to get. Or damn near close to the top of the market. He's an all-pro, right? Yeah. And he's young and he's getting better. So this is, and again, there's ways to spread out the money. There's ways to structure these contracts. So don't take it like he's going to get this and this is what's going to go against the cap every year. There's ways to maneuver the money. He's not going to get this. Like Aaron Donald's on an island all by himself. If you see here, Aaron Donald's making $32 million a year.
Unreal.
And then you have, 21-20. That's going to, he's going to make a little more than this because the cap only goes up. So if I had to guess, you're looking at like $22 to $23 million a year for Dexter Lawrence.
You are. And you know what? If this was a situation with a guy like not Dalvin Thomas, he wouldn't have set the market, but a guy like Damon Harrison, like how he basically set the market. He was getting 12 or 13 a year at the time. That's 6-7 years ago. So that's what the going rate was for top tier interior defensive linemen. I would probably say no, but because Dexter is such a good pass rusher and that's so rare to get the interior pressure, like that's the reason it's worth it. Like that's the reason that Will Anderson Jr. is the best player in the draft this year, barring none. And I'm a Bryce Young groupie, trust me. But Will Anderson is the best player in this draft. Jalen Carter is probably 80% more likely to go before Will Anderson simply because the ability to get that interior pressure is so hard to find and is so valuable. And that's why guys like DeForest Buckner are worth a first-round pick like that. That's why we as Giants fans, remember, we didn't want Derrick Brown, not because we didn't want another defensive tackle, but also that. But he couldn't rush the passer at all, zero. So that's why it probably will be worth it, and it won't hurt me to see him have a large cap number like that. Just because it's so rare to find a guy who can push the pocket from the middle. It's
not even a debate for me. Like this offseason, that's the first thing I do. I've talked about how Andrew Thomas is the first thing I do. I might not extend Andrew Thomas this year because I still have one more year and then maybe I'd do it because we have a lot of other guys we have to sign. Now, if you can, that's great. If you get that done with, because we know we're going to have to extend him eventually. Yeah. But Dexter Lawrence, there's no, for people that say, oh, just wait a year. He's got $10 million. He's not playing on that. If you're Dexter Lawrence, you'd be an idiot to play on $10 million next year with no further commitment. There's no way his agent's going to allow him to do that. Correct. So they're going to work out a contract with the year that he's had, and I'm sure they're going to extend him. They have to keep him. I mean, the guy is just way too talented, and he means way too much to this defense. And
also, I know this is semantics, but to your point, I really hope they do extend Andrew Thomas. I don't want Tristan Wirfs setting the market. I want Andrew Thomas setting the market first, and then I don't want Andrew Thomas's agent to say, well, this guy from this class just got this. He plays right tackle. I want to break that number. I want Andrew Thomas to get paid before Tristan Wirfs does.
I hope so. I mean, look, I just want him to get it. I just want him to be happy. I want Andrew Thomas to be as happy as possible because when I watch the New York Giants on Sunday, he makes me as happy as I possibly could be at that position. So make him happy. The guy had 44 pass rush snaps last week. He didn't surrender a pressure.
And that's against a very good edge duo too. Very good.
Make AT happy. He deserves it. Cyber says, let's go, G-Men. We going hunting tonight. We're going hunting for birds, Cyber. Let's go, buddy. And Mika says, there you go. Get the gun out. We're gonna shoot him down. Mika says,
I'm going later tonight. Or no,
you're going to the game?
No. You said going shooting. I'm going pretty soon, actually.
Oh, okay. Mika says, from Charleston, South Carolina, together blue. Let's go. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for checking out the channel. I'll be live later tonight for anybody that wants to. Obviously, a lot of you guys are probably going to bars, watching the game. But I do the play-by-plays. Anybody that has never seen it before, it's a lot of fun. It's like
Chris, I lay on the couch. I'm watching it with my friends, my family, whatever. I still got you and Bad Dog on my ear. You know that's never going to change.
That's like the biggest compliment I ever get. Like when people, like JD, I was talking to him on the phone today. He was at a bar last week watching the game because he's like, I wanted to go out with my friends, get the bar experience, watch the playoff game. But he's like, I had you in my ear because he's like,
absolutely.
Like, even if I can't see your reaction, I want to hear what your opinion is play to play. I want to hear what you have to say.
Chris, I hooked you guys up to when I took my halftime shower last week. I hooked you guys up to my my speaker that I have so I can hear while I was what's going on while I'm in the shower. Because I missed I missed the first few plays out of the halftime. I missed the Saquon play, the Hodgins play. I missed all of that. I got back right in time for the touchdown, but I missed the first couple of plays. So I need to know what's going on. How else am I going to know?
I appreciate it, man. I have a lot of fun. I mean, I have so much fun doing those streams.
Oh, yeah.
Chris P says, let's go War Day. I want to see Kayvon make some Angels today. I said at the top of the stream, Chris P, great supporter of mine, by the way. Great supporter of several content creators, always on Twitter, retweeting everybody, saying kind words to me and everybody else. And I think you went to the game last week. I think you told me that, Chris. You went to the Minnesota game.
That's awesome.
But or maybe it was the Washington game. He went. I can't recall. But he definitely went to a game recently. But regardless, I said at the top of the stream, Chris Piece, I want Kayvon Thibodeau to make the link look like the Heavenly Gates. I want angels all over the field. I want angels. I want angels covering all 100 yards at the link today. So
that's great. That. Chris, it's so awesome. Like the amount of stress you put like on your body to cover the Giants, like your voice box goes through sensory overload. Like whenever you see the LC pick six, when you see the Kayvon strip sack touchdown, just a Saquon break a long run, like your voice box just like gets destroyed. Like I can't imagine what you feel like the next day.
No, well, listen. Same thing when I call the Knicks games, and the Knicks games are actually worse because they're fast paced.
Yeah.
So there's always like tons of like reactions because you can't help it.
Yeah.
Whenever the Knicks play a back-to-back, I can't do both games because I can't help it. Now, Bad Dog's able to do it, I guess, because I don't know, but I can't because my voice, I could barely speak the next day.
And I find myself, I'm not as
not with the Giants. With the Giants, I'm okay, but with it's hard to do back-to-back games.
I'm a Knicks fan too, and but this year I haven't been able to really like get into it as much.
Well, because the Giants are playing good.
The Giants are good. RJ Barrett kind of had like he's meh. And then obviously most of the time I would be listening / watching a game. It would be through you, and you haven't been streaming them. So I'm just like not as into it really. I don't know. I'm gonna
be doing a lot of them after the season, but right now I'm focused.
You better because now I'm a fake fan because I don't watch them anymore. So.
No, I'm looking forward to it. The Knicks have been up and down, but I like Brunson. I think Brunson's been great.
Oh, for sure. Except that freaking Jalen Hurts jersey. What the hell, man?
Yeah, I don't like that. He went to Villanova, so I guess. But
I don't care.
Yeah.
No, it's
inexcusable. You play in New York. You can't be wearing that. You can't be wearing that. Tenselad says, wipe that smug smile off your face, buddy. Go Birds. Oh, here we go. We get a little Eagle smack talk in the chat. What's going on, Tensel, man? I appreciate it, man. I'm going to have to. Tensel, you better get used to this smug smile because you're going to have it all game. And if the Giants ever do ruin your season, which I'm praying they do, it's not going to be smug. It's going to be ear to ear, and it's going to be ear to ear for a week. I'm going to get kicked off Twitter. I'm telling you, I will get kicked off Twitter if the Giants win this game tonight because I'm going to be obnoxious. It's just years and years of built up frustration. Nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with individual fans for the Eagles. Your franchise is the worst.
To that, Chris, I called my brother last night because I was freaking out about the game. Actually, I just called him. I needed to just rant about something. And I was feeling nervous about the game. And what I said to him, and I was able to put it into words. And this game is so high stakes, not just for the Giants in the playoffs, but for just my life, because it's either A, the best 2 weeks of my life continues, or B, I don't get to watch Giants football for half a year, which is the worst thing ever.
That's
So
playoff
it's
football.
really
That's the
worst thing ever, the best thing ever.
That's what it's about, man. Is when your team's in the playoffs, obviously you're a lot more excited, but it also brings a lot more stress because the importance of that game week to week. It's just you're saying to yourself, if we ever won the Super Bowl, I'd be able to talk about this for the next 6 months and just brag about my team and
well,
yeah. There's
Eagles
so many
fans still talk about their one Super Bowl right now. So I mean,
yeah, let's shock the world. Joe, and I found out Joe was my neighbor. Joe's my neighbor. He lives like down the street from me. He says, "What's up, neighbor? Bring the fun fire tonight. I want to hear your stand-up New York Giants fan from inside my house." I'm going to do my best, Joe, man. Thanks for the support on the channel. Appreciate it. Yeah, man. I'm going to be loud. The cops might get cold. You might hear sirens near your house today, Joe, because I'm going to be really loud. But, no, I appreciate the support, man. Sticky Fingers says, my dog – oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that. My dog died of cancer last week, but the Giants won. You keep saying do whatever well, I don't want you to do that. Whatever I did last week, and I still have one dog left. My microwave is going to win us this game, and I'll tell the cops you made me do it. Stop, Sticky Fingers, stop. You're not doing that. No, but I'm sorry for your loss. I lost 2 dogs a couple of years ago. It's tough.
Yeah, it's hard losing a dog for sure.
Mike says, hey, Chris, long-time watcher, but first-time donating. Well, I thank you for watching. Going to be watching the game from work and getting out of here by the second half. Let's go, G-Men. Well, if you have trouble watching it, if you can watch it. But if you have trouble watching it, tune into my channel. I'm going to be live streaming, so at least you can get the play-by-play. But as long as you can watch it, man, that's the most important thing. And hopefully you enjoy the game, Mike. And thank you for all the support on the channel. Thank you for watching the channel.
Chris, you're just such a talent for it, too. The play-by-play. Like, you know how we were talking about that, Cordell Flott just has a feel for the position of DV. Like, you just have a feel for inflections in the voice and how to phrase things on the fly and all this stuff. And, the sensor you have on yourself too. It's just like, there's such a natural, it's natural when you do it. I want to give you your flowers for that. Obviously, it's just like, it's really, really cool. And that's why it's so awesome, because Bad Dog's a great color dude. He'll break down the play or he'll say, this guy effed up or whatever. And it's a great dichotomy what you guys going on.
Well, I think Bad Dog brings what makes it fun, and I think why we decided to do it this way, because we used to alternate. Like, I would do the play-by-play on my channel, and he would do the play-by-play on his channel. And then I said to him, let's just be consistent. I'm like, I don't care who does what, but let's be consistent, because that way people get used to, one guy doing the play-by-play and one guy doing the color, because then it's kind of like not consistent if you do it that way. And I said to him, I'm like, you're probably better as the color, not because you're not good at play-by-play, because you're more you bring that fan emotion, like you're cursing, you're screaming, and that's what fans want to see, right? So I'm like, I'll do the play-by-play, you be the reactionary guy, and I think it kind of plays well. I think when you tune into a stream, you want to get good play-by-play if you can't watch the game, obviously, but you also want that fan reaction, and obviously I react too, but I think that's why we do it the way that we do.
For sure, it's awesome. You guys do a great job with it, and it's gonna be like the worst day ever. Like the day that you guys stop doing that, I'm just gonna be like, what do I do on Sunday now? I have no idea what to do with myself. Like
I don't think we're gonna stop anytime soon, man. I love doing the.
Because I'm talking, I have 15-year-old kids that I want to watch with me. I'm talking that far in the future, man. Like I don't know what I'm able to do with myself.
But one thing I do want to do, did you see the watch party? And they're having it again today, by the way.
Yeah.
Did you see the watch party that Justin and Bobby had?
I watched it back like the next day.
I'm doing that next year. Yeah? I saw that. I'm like, I'm doing that next year. And I reached out to them. I'm going to do it with them. I'm like, you guys let me know. I'm doing it. Like, obviously this year I'm not doing it, but I would love to do it with Bad Dog too. I just don't know what his logistics are living where he lives.
For sure.
But I would love to do one of those with Bad Dog. They had 300 people at a bar screaming their heads off live. Yeah. Well, now they didn't call the game. It was more of like reactions.
Yeah.
But it looked like such a fun atmosphere.
Well, that would be another perfect dichotomy. Like if you were there, like do you even know how to watch a game without doing the play-by-play? Like if you're watching the Chiefs on primetime, are you sitting there saying Mahomes out of the shotgun takes a snap?
At this point, it's hard not to, because it's every Giants game I do it, so it's like instilled in me now. So.
Yeah. Even if you're not saying it out loud, it's in your mind. You're just sitting there watching like the Chargers or something, and you're doing the play-by-play.
Alfonso says, "Can you tell Bad Dog to hurry and ditch his family?" What? Why would I tell him
Yeah,
to do
I
that?
saw that. What are you talking about?
Oh, maybe he said he's out with his family and he's gonna go live. I have no idea. Maybe that's what he means. I don't
Oh,
know.
okay.
Maybe I'm hoping that's what he means.
Let's
Uh,
assume it is. Let's assume that's exactly what he meant.
Yeah, and Chris B says my fiance and I have season tickets to watch. That's what it was. He was at a Washington game because I guess he lives in the Washington area. She's a Washington fan, but supports my New York Giants every other week. Always in my New York Giants gear and earbuds and listening to you guys. That's what it was. He was at the Washington game when they were playing Dallas the last week of the season, and he was listening to me at the game. Call the Giants game. That's what it was.
Well, that had. I mean, I'm assuming you're rooting for Washington, so that was pretty fun.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, at that point, why not at that point?
Yeah.
And Angel says, Chris, just got out of the hospital, going to be home for the game. Let's go, John. Well, yeah, you told me last time you were in the hospital. Hope you feel better. Hopefully you get back all right. DJ going to have a 2011 Eli night. That's the type of game I envision him having if we're going to win. Not to say he's going to be as heroic as Eli was in that 49ers game. But Eli in that game didn't have like incredible stats, but you really appreciated how much Eli meant to that team in that game. I say it all the time. Like, Eli's had so many better statistical performances, whether it be in the playoffs or the regular season. But that game, to me, and it's so funny how Giants fans, because I wasn't on YouTube 6 years ago, and you only kind of talk to your circle of Giants fans. I wasn't active on social media, Twitter. So you had your circle of 20, 30 Giants fans that you coerce with. And the majority of us agreed that was like his signature performance. But for like a non-dire Giants fan, most like non-dire Giants fans, I always thought in the back of my head would say like, maybe the game against the Saints where he threw 6 touchdowns, or the game, where he had a great statistical performance against the Packers in the divisional round, or the Super Bowl with the Tyree catch or the throw to Manningham, right? But for me, that was always DJ's signature performance, and it's not even really close. And that is another great example of why you cannot measure a quarterback's effectiveness and ability and how important he is to the team based off of strictly stats. You have to measure the team he's going up against, the team that he is provided with, and the way that Eli played in that game, like that, unbelievable. And it's so cool to see that that's pretty much like universally agreed upon by the majority of dire Giants fans. Like, that was Eli Manning's signature moment.
Yeah.
That game going up against that ridiculous defense against the San Francisco 49ers, for him to take the hits that he did, for him to keep getting back up and keeping his team in that football game. And you saw it, not to compare it at all, but that was what made that Cowboys performance kind of special for me this year with Daniel Jones. Similar fashion, he was getting crushed that entire game. And when you look at the stats, you say to yourself, he had a 57 QB rating. Did you watch the game? The guy was pressured 25, 26 times. He had no help, and he kept standing in. He kept taking hits. He kept giving his opportunity. And I think that's where I started to fall really in love with Daniel Jones this year, where I was like, and obviously I needed to see a lot more, but that's where I started. That game was really the first game where I started to see the signs. I'm like, this kid is growing. He's growing on me. And then he just kept getting better and better and better throughout the course of the year. But that game to me will always go down as the best performance by Eli Manning in that NFC Championship game. It was incredible.
Unfortunately, I didn't get to, watch Eli's, the length of his career. And the only reason that I have an appreciation for him that I do is, number one, that Eli is my dad's favorite player ever. And he will watch whatever Eli commercials on, even if he's seen it 100 times. He loves Eli. I remember week 1 last year when we lost to the Broncos, my dad sitting there with his head in his hand saying, God, I miss Eli. And obviously, so I've always had an appreciation for him. Most people my age, especially when I was in high school, everyone thought Eli was trash, but they'd only seen him in the 2017, 2018 seasons and 2016, 17, and 18 seasons where he wasn't statistically great, and he had the reputation of he's a bad quarterback. Max Kellerman was calling him a bad quarterback every single week, and everyone was believing it. But again, stats don't tell the whole story, and I have a similar thing with Eli with Daniel Jones, I should say, and that was the Ravens game this year. I was at the Ravens game this year. Mm-hmm. And when I think we were in consecutive, like 3rd and 15 and 3rd and 12. And I saw DJ just pick up 3rd down after 3rd down after 3rd down, and along with this O-line and that receiving core. And I was like, that's Eli-esque. Like, it just is, where it doesn't matter what he's provided with. He's going to do his absolute best and deliver more times than not. And he absolutely did. I said in the video that I made that I posted yesterday, that I started to get that sense for DJ last year when he went down with an injury. He played the full game with the Eagles game with an injury, which I was at the game too, actually. I was at that game, the Raiders game, and the Panthers game, and unfortunately, the quarterback sneak game. That was a mistake. But I digress. Where we were 4-7 when DJ went down, a drop-to-Dory pick, or controversial drop-to-Dory pick from being 5-6, the Dexter Lawrence offsides from being 6-5, and with that team and that coaching staff, that's a pretty good feat for DJ to have his team in that position, one game out of the wild card with tiebreakers over the Eagles and the Saints. I started to believe, and especially in that Saints game, not because he put up 400 yards passing, just because of the overtime drive and because of the third downs he was converting, the quick strike to Saquon down the sideline, these clutch plays that he was making against a good team. They were a decent team at that point.
Yeah.
So
no, that was a great performance by DJ last year.
Again, it wasn't because of the 400 yards passing. It was just because the third down and longs he's picking up and that kind of stuff. And that was also Kenny Galladay's best game as a Giant too.
It's situational football, and it's what he's done all year this year. I mean, in big spots, he's grown a lot as a quarterback.
I have a question for you. Actually.
Yeah, go ahead.
So if you ask me, last year Kenny Galladay was actually a solid player. Like, I remember him having, it was in garbage time, but against
the Saints game, he was great. The Saints game, he played well.
Saints game, he was great. Even against the Broncos, he had some great, tight catches over the middle that he's stacking, and he's snagging the ball out of the air with two hands and stuff. Like, he had some good, some good catches last year. But obviously, DJ played half the year. He had Mike Glennon throwing to him. He had some injuries. He had Jake Fromm throwing to him. So he wasn't that productive, obviously. But he was still clearly the best receiver on the team last year. And he just looked different. The eye test told you he was better than the other receivers on the team. This year, and especially this preseason, it didn't. Was there an injury or a surgery he had this offseason that, hampered him in some way? What happened to him? Because obviously he had the surgery going into last year, but going into this year, I don't remember anything happening, and he just had a major drop-off where he was actually a solid receiver last year. This year he was garbage. Why is that?
He might have had something. If I recall, I thought something came out where he had something during the offseason. I think I heard that later in training camp. I could be wrong on that. But I think the biggest reason, I don't think he fits this offense.
Yeah.
And it's what I said all offseason when I heard that we brought in Kafka and Dable, and I looked at what Buffalo did, and I looked at what Kansas City did, and I was like, I don't see him as a good fit in this offense. And and not to say that I thought he'd be beat out by David Sills, or I did not. But I thought he did. So, he had a hip surgery. Yeah. So I thought I heard that. Now, you didn't hear that initially in the offseason, but you heard it, I think, right before the season started. It came out that he did have some kind of hip surgery. And obviously they didn't like what they saw in training camp. But I also think a lot of it had to do with the fact that I don't really think he fit what they were looking to do offensively in terms of being
I agreed. I don't
receiver.
think he fit exactly what they wanted to do, but I thought at the very least, he could at least try or attempt to play that. And I guess that's why he wasn't ever put in the position because of the surgery. But, it's not like Gabe Davis is really a burner. He's fast for his size, absolutely. But, it's not like he creates the most separation. Josh Allen kind of just throws it up to him. And I thought maybe Kenny Galladay could
Same thing with Watkins.
Kenny Galladay easily runs a 4.8 right now or a 4.9. He is slow, really slow. So
yeah. And he's had drop problems this year too.
Yeah.
Which I think is mental.
For sure.
But Nikki, I'm going to let you go just because I got to end this in a couple minutes. I'm going to say goodbye to the chat.
Sure. I'm actually going golfing at 4, so perfect.
Well, enjoy that. Enjoy that. I'm going to watch the football game at 4 and get ready for the Giants. But enjoy your golf. Hopefully you score under a 90. I don't know what you average, but hopefully you do well. Thank you for coming on.
For sure, man.
And give me your closing words.
Well, so first of all, thanks for having me. As always, it's always a blast with you. Hopefully we can chop it up a bit more in the off season, talk some draft. I love that for sure.
Sure.
And
let's talk about the NFC Championship game next week.
Let's Chris, I'm there. If we're in there, I'm there. You know it. Going into tonight, again, earlier in the week, I was much more pessimistic. I thought we were going to get blown out, and I was shocked the line was only 7.5. But Giants fans of the past have come to me and told me this is just what the Giants do. They're never the best team in football that goes and wins it all. They're always the underdog. It has that feeling. There's all these similarities that everyone's talking about, whether it's the line or whether it's where the Super Bowl is, who we're playing, where we're playing, all this stuff.
Yeah.
So I start to believe, and now I'm believing. And so now I officially bet on the Giants straight up. And my score prediction is 33-30 Giants.
Wow. So you think it's going to be really high scoring?
I think there is no way we can beat this team without scoring over 30 points. That's what I think. And I think the only way that happens is because, like I mentioned earlier, Jalen Hurts tries stuff he has no business doing because of the condition that he's in. He takes unnecessary risks and gives the Giants a chance to win. And the Giants are very good at capitalizing on opportunities given to them by the other team.
I'm going to go a little bit lower scoring, but I have the same difference in points. I think we're going to be able to slow down this game a bit with our running game. But I agree with you that we're going to have to score to win. And I got a 27-24. But as long as we win, I don't care what the score is. But
yes, sir.
Nikki, enjoy the game, man. Hopefully we come out with a W. So we got another game to watch. But thanks for coming on.
I'll be on the couch, but you'll be in my ear. You know how it is.
Let's go. Thanks for popping in, buddy.
All right, thanks, Tanner.
All right, Nikki, be good. That was Nikki. Nikki's been with me forever. And he just started a channel recently. So go over there, check him out. I posted the link throughout the stream. How you doing? Says going to a concert, so no watching for me, but I'll be checking ESPN with every second. Let's beat them. No shower, dirty birds. Let's go. Man, that sucks, man. I wish you could push your concert back a day, man. It sucks that you're gonna miss this game. Let's see what we got. Ethan, but enjoy your concert. Ethan says, got my Leo jersey on and I'm ready. Let's go, Giants. Let's go, Ethan. Hopefully you wore the same jersey last week. Let's get the job done today, Ethan, man. And Wayne, man, good to see you. I got to meet Wayne, I think, in person. He says, stand up. Let's go. We got this. Let's go, Wayne. Let's get this win today, man. Let's see. Let's shock the world. Noah says, let's go, man. Danny says, after the Giants win tonight, doesn't matter where we go. What do you mean? I mean, I want to go to the Super Bowl if we win tonight. I don't want to lose. But it's one game at a time. We got to keep winning. Let's see. Daniel says, go to the concert and have Kristen and one. Well, yeah, but then you can't listen to the concert, right? I mean, the whole reason to go to a concert is to hear the music. So that's tough, man. Let's see. John says, I'm here all day and night for playoff victory celebration. Well, hopefully we're here live till 2 a.m. I'm going to go live a half hour before the game, and hopefully we stay live till 2 a.m. because I'm going to be partying if we do win. So hopefully that'll be the case. I'm looking forward to it if we do. Calvin says, why didn't I go to the game? Why didn't I go to the game? Because I want to call the game with you guys on YouTube, for one. I think a lot of people want that. They'd be upset if they missed that experience. But yeah, that's the reason. I've never been to the link. I've gone to 2 Giants games this year. I plan on going to more next year, hopefully at least 2. And I plan on going to a road game. But yeah, that's why I'm not at the game. Danny Joe, let's see what we got. Alfonso says, victory formation again, boys. Let's go. Chris, do you see Galladay playing tonight after what he did week 18? No, I don't. I mean, he's going to be out there as much as he was last week, but I don't think he's going to be a core piece of the wide receiver rotation. He was talking to the concert guy. My mistake. Sorry, Davey. Yeah, you got to be going to the game. But, I mean, who knows? I'm not going to tell anybody what to do, but maybe he bought the concert tickets a year ago, and didn't expect the New York Giants to be playing in this game. But I wouldn't miss this game. But everybody's different, right? Let's see. We got Alvaro says, Chris, are the Giants make it to the Super Bowl? Are you going to the game? No, I'm not going to the Super Bowl. Not going to the Super Bowl, no. Maybe in the future, not this year. John Jay says, I just have a vision of Dimes and Dable hugging after the Super Bowl. That'd be great. Clipper says, Chris, got to show your luck. Fly to Philly now. Now, the Giants are 3-0 in the last 3 games that I've been in attendance, which is rare because I used to lose every game I went to. But I went to the Eagles game last year, they won, and the 2 games I went to this year, they won. That was the Colts and the Texans. So not that those are the best of teams, but they are 3-0 in the last 3 games I've been in attendance. Royal says, I'm going to be at the game. You'll be in my ear today. That's awesome. Enjoy the game, Royal Wolf. Man, thanks for popping in, man. Imagine DJ Super Bowl winning press conference. I mean, I would imagine DJ Super Bowl winning press conference would be just like all of his others, to be honest with you. He's just so, like, even keel. He's like Eli. He's, like, so even keel. He doesn't get too high. He doesn't get too low. It's the same thing with Brian Dable. And I think that's what Brian Dable wants in a football player. And it's why I think Brian Dable likes Daniel Jones as much as he does. I don't think he's shown emotion here and there. I don't think Daniel Jones would be over the top in terms of like being cocky or confident. Even though a lot of us would want to see that if they won a Super Bowl, I just feel like he'd be himself, and that's who he is, and I'm happy, he's comfortable in his own skin. Yeah, Daniel Jones is a dog. Let's go. God says Galladay deserves a few targets this week. You never know who will be the hero come. Hey, if he does, he does. I just want him to produce if he does. Let's see. Victor says, Tana, do we defer if we win the toss? Yeah, I think we defer. We've deferred all year when we won the toss. So, yes, I would. I think either team is going to defer if they win the toss. But maybe not. Maybe the Eagles would take it because the Eagles have been a much better first-half team. They may want to get out to the early lead. But if I'm the Giants, I'm deferring 100%. We've been a team of adjustments all year. Yeah, I mean, and we proved last week that we could take a punch and respond, right? The Vikings scored a touchdown on the first drive. We responded. So, yeah, I would definitely defer. And fix the O-line. Thank you very much, man. Tana, if you promised to take super hot chick to a college tonight, third date, would you do it? No, I wouldn't. No. No chance. No chance. Listen, at the end of the day, fix the O-line. There's a lot of hot girls out there. There's a lot of women out there. If a woman couldn't understand that I got to watch. Now, if it's a regular season game, that's different. I might have to miss it. Like, if we're talking about, like, drop dead gorgeous, and I'm like, this could be the one, maybe. Maybe I make a sacrifice for a normal Sunday. I don't care how pretty this girl is. I don't care how beautiful she is. I don't care how smart she is. I don't care how much she makes. I'm watching this football game. There's no woman on God's green earth that is making me miss this football game. And as a matter of fact, if she's not watching the game with me, I'm getting a new woman. That's how I feel on the matter. But what's up there, Chris, man? What's going on there? Godson, man, thanks for popping in the stream. I ain't missing this game for Halle Berry, bro. That's right, Heartstorm Media. Let's go. What's up there, Jack Jones, man? What's going on there, Prague? What's going on there, Nona? What's your score prediction today? I got a Giants 27-24. I got a 27-24. Let's see. Chris, you could not have said it any better, my man. Let's go. Chris with the Riz, Elvis says, let's go, man. Let's go, Giants. What's going on, Mets, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. Going to a sports bar tonight. It's going to be an awesome environment. Yes, my wife will be with me. Let's go, Big Blue. Enjoy the game, man. Hopefully you come by after we get to talk about a win. Bill says, you got that right, brother. Let's go, man. Josh says, stand up, super hype. Let's go. Nicholas says, hey, how do you think the defense is going to step up? Yes, or do you think we're going to win? Yeah, listen, I'm not going to guarantee victory, but I definitely think we have a good chance to win this game. I'm picking us to win this game. What needs to step? Every part of the team has to step up. I don't expect the fullest performance from the offensive line. I don't expect the fullest performance from the defensive line because the Eagles' lines are great. 2 top 5 units in football, both sides of the ball. Great. But we can't get manhandled. We cannot get manhandled at the point of attack. Can't turn the football over. Got to be smart with the ball. The special teams, we cannot lose the hidden yardage. If we're going to win this game, it's going to come down to the coach, and it's going to come down to the quarterback. But more so the coach. The game plan, we have to out-scheme them. We know they have more talent on their football team. We have to out-coach them. We have to out-execute them. Our players have to be disciplined. They can't make mistakes. But I think if we're going to win, it's going to come down to Dable. It's going to come down to Wink. And it's going to come down to Kafka. They have to be smarter than the opposition if we're going to win this game. Let's see what we got. What's going on? X says, grew up with an older brother, Eagles fan. Let's go. That's going to be a tough household to live in. And Noah, he says, we got to set the tone, play angry. Let's go, man. Let's go. Yeah, you're damn right I would, H1000. You're damn right. There's a lot of fish in the sea. You know, I'm not missing this game. There's millions upon millions of fish in the sea. I'm not missing this game. I'm sorry. I'm throwing the fish back in the water. If that fish is not allowing me to watch the New York Giants versus the Eagles divisional round with an opportunity to play in the NFC Championship game the next week, I'm getting a new fish. That's all there is to it. That fish doesn't meet the size requirements. You got to throw it back in the water. Let's see what we got. Cowboy Sucks says, Gano hits a game-winning field goal. Lawrence Tynes. I've said my dream ending to this game would be a Richie James punt return in which he backpedals into the end zone in Deshaun Jackson fashion with no time left. I would love to return the favor from that aspect. But really my dream would be to win 40-0, but it would feel a little extra special if we had a punt return to close out the game. And Officer Richie, He says, let's go. We have to get this W. Let's go, Richie, man. Thanks for popping in the stream, buddy. Let's go, man. Stand up. What's going on, Alfonso, man? That's not the fish for you. No. That fish smells funky. Samuel, man, what's going on, man? And Will's the man, dude. Got to meet Will in person. I think he's from Buffalo, but I forgot the story he told me. I think he's from Buffalo, and he told me he decided to become a Giants fan while he was up at college, or maybe he went to school in Buffalo, and he was surrounded by Bills fans. I think that's what it was. But regardless, really good guy. He decided to take on the New York Giants. He decided to take on the challenge of Dave Gettleman, Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, and you're starting to see some of the results. He says, hey, my man, thank you for all the streams this week. Let's go, G-Men. This season has been amazing. Hoping we could keep both 26 and dimes after this year. We're going to. There's no way I see either one of them leaving the roster. The only question is what is the contract going to be? Is it going to be a tag? Is it going to be 4 years? That's the question. But I'd be shocked if both those guys aren't back. They're part of the culture of this team, and they're definitely going to be a part of the building process. So they have to come back. They mean so much to this team. They mean so much to this fan base. They mean so much to this franchise. Madden, man, thank you very much, man. Just won $500 using the Giants in Madden. Let's go. Aziz and Tibbs couldn't be stopped. Well, congratulations. I'm glad that you won that. Hopefully the New York Giants win tonight in real life. And hopefully Aziz shows up in a big way today. We're going to need him. One of the first questions I asked my now wife, are you a football fan? Who's your team? She said Giants. We had our 19th anniversary on Tuesday. And Joe's a smart guy. Happy wife's a happy life. If she can't appreciate your love for the Giants, I mean, that's a problem. That's a problem. That's like fighting with your in-laws. The Giants are one of my in-laws. That comes with the territory. Let's see what we got here, man. Toasty says, every time I pick the Giants to win, they lose. So in that case, 63-3 Eagles. If that helps the Giants win, by all means. Chris, you got one of the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are going to blow them out. I really do. I think the Chiefs are going to blow them out. And I actually like the Jags. I picked the Jags to beat the Chargers, not in the method in which they did. I think the Chiefs win. They're going to cover. I think it was 8.5. I think the Chiefs are going to cover. I think they're going to win by at least double digits. I think they're going to blow them out. But maybe I'll be wrong. I mean, I thought the Chiefs were going to beat Cincinnati last year. They didn't. But, yeah, I think they're going to blow them out. Let's see what we got here. Chris, your video yesterday was epic. I love when you and Bad Dog go ape shit. Yeah, well, you're going to see a lot of ape shit tonight. I hope we get to have a good highlight video after a win tonight, because I'm going to ask the same guy that made that to make if we win tonight, I'm going to ask him to take the best clips from tonight and spice it over the video. Do you wish we played tomorrow? No, I really don't care. As long as we win, I don't really care when we play. So, no, it really doesn't I mean, maybe, but it doesn't really matter to me. Just win. Will says your video yesterday was awesome, man. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, that's something I'm going to add to the channel next year. I want to do that every week during the regular season. Obviously, in the playoffs, if we lose, I'm not going to do that. But during the regular season, win or lose, I want to take some of the best clips in terms of the play-by-play and our reactions and splice it over the video footage. I thought it was cool. And it's just cool, like, as a guy that does the play-by-play, it's cool to hear your voice as the players are playing. Like, to see it together. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. Like, on the Saquon run, when I do that, I'm like, wow, I kind of almost anticipated that run. Because Barkley, as he's turning the corner, he still had about 15 yards to go. But I just saw green space, and I saw he was running faster than everybody else on defense. So it's just cool to be able to see my voice over the action. Because I never get to do that. You guys do. If you listen and watch, I don't. Sedan, man, what's going on, man? Yes, I did. I didn't make a video on it, but I talked about it in the live stream that it came out that the Giants offered him $12 to $12.5 million a year, and they couldn't come to terms on an agreement. So I think in the end, they're going to work something out. They may tag Barkley and then work out a contract after that, but I think they're going to work something out. What's up? What's going on, Matthew, man? Thanks for popping in. No holds on Tibbs. Well, you know they're going to hold him because they keep getting away with it. If they get away with it, they're going to keep doing it. NFL expert says, big game, Chris. Here we go. Recovering from my bet loss last night. 10 cents to win $4K. I was 2 games up in a 20. Wow, that would have been cool. Hopefully you win tonight. Fabian says, play smart, mistake-free execution our way. Let's go. And Cy Guy says, just had takeout Chinese, opened my fortune cookie, and it says, happy events will take place in your home. Well, I'm single, so I guess the Giants win. Well, who knows? You could be single and still mingle. Maybe you'll mingle tonight and the Giants will win. Maybe you'll do both simultaneously. That'd be pretty cool. Nicholas says, I think the Giants are going to win or lose. Difficult to step up. I agree with you, Nicholas. That is probably the most accurate assessment I've ever heard about the New York Giants. That is probably the most accurate assessment. I also think, and now you guys can't come to me after the game and say, Chris, you were wrong. I also think the New York Giants tonight are either going to win or they're going to lose. It's a tough game, and I'm going out on the limb. I think they're either going to win or lose this football game. And we're going to find out at 8:15 p.m. Saturday night under the lights in Philadelphia. I can't wait. NFL experts, he's already got sevens in the chat. He's already well prepared. Lee says, Chris, Giants versus Chiefs Super Bowl just to wipe the smile off Tony's face. See, for me, I think the coolest thing for a Super Bowl in terms of a storyline would be Giants Bills, because you got Shane and Dable, right? Like them getting to beat the team that they came up with. I think that'd be cool. Jay Boogie, I played your song twice. Hopefully you got a chance to hear it. Says, shout out to the chat. Blessings, health, happiness. I'm pissed. I'm in ATL, and we lost last night. Oh, that's right, the Knicks. That game was crazy. I didn't get a chance to watch all of it, but I watched the first half and watched bits and pieces in the second half. There was like 140 points scored in the first half. That game was crazy. Time to take it out on the Seagulls. Let's go, G-Men. Yeah, sorry you had to go to that last night. Of course, the Knicks gave away that lead. I think they had a 3-point lead at halftime. But yeah, let's win the more important game. Playoffs, right? Let's win the more important game today. We'll sacrifice one Knicks game, a regular season game, if the New York Giants can win a playoff game, and hopefully they do. Yeah, man, let's go, man. And thank you for the shout out on the song, man. That was cool. Let's go. What's up there, Danny, man? Thanks for popping in, buddy. Alan says, Chris, did you see the stats where the Eagles are like 13-1 with the refs today? Yeah, I think it's coincidental. I mean, I hope. I think it's coincidental. You could always find things that people are going to say before the game starts that you're nervous about or that's going to affect the game. I'm never going to be a guy. Now, will I scream about the refs from within the game? Yes. But I'm never going to blame a game on a referee. I'm just not going to do it. Because when we win, I don't want to hear people blame the referees when we win. So I'm not going to blame this game, the result, win or lose, on the referees. Just go out there and execute and control what you can. Let's see what we got. Tana, we win it today. What's going on, Barkley? Danny Joe says over-under fights in tonight's game. I'll go with 5. It's going to be physical. It's going to be chippy. There's no doubt about it. Now, if you're including – all right, are you talking about the players, Danny, or are you talking about everybody? Because if you include the fans, the over-under is probably out 1,336. Because I think there's going to be a lot of animosity in that stadium tonight at the Link between New York Giants fans and Philadelphia Eagles fans. Now, if you're just talking about the players, I'll go with 5. Fabian says, regardless, thank you for the season so far. Our way. It's definitely been our way. It's been a great season. It's been really fun to cover the team, talk to you guys about it, do the play-by-plays. Really excited. What's up, Glack? Stand up, Dana. Let's get this win tonight. Let's go, man. My 2 cents is spot on, Chris. My wife supports me staying up all night to watch the Giants. Starts at 2:30 a.m. in France, and she's getting up to take our son for his school ski trip so I could watch. Now, that's a good wife right there. That's a good relationship right there. You got something going. That's a diehard fan, staying up till 2:30 a.m. And I know it's not just for the playoffs. I already know. I've seen you in my chats. You're probably up at 2:30 a.m. for preseason games. That's a diehard fan right there in France. And I see the Philly Talk podcast in the chat. He's got the eyeballs in. He's ready for the game. He's going in confident, as he should. 14-3. You're home. You should win. Will you? I don't know. You better. Because if you don't, you'll never hear the end of it. We'll find out what happens at 8:15. I'm looking forward to it. Let's see what we got. Danny says, Chris, did you see Barkley's video for this week? I did. It was great. The hype video was great. What's going on, Sports Influencer, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. Let's see. Let's get it. Nona says, Heartstorm says, let's go all the way in France. Shout out. Yeah, man. Let's see. I'm having barbecue Eagles for tonight's dinner. Let's go. Giants 34-20. Come on, baby. Fabian says, let's get it done. We're going to reverse 2008 tonight. Let's go, Mark Harris. But, guys, I'm going to close it out. I'm going to relax, watch the 4 o'clock game, and then I'll be live at 7:45. I think the game starts at 8:15. So I'll be live at 7:45. I'll set that stream up probably at about 6. You guys could go into the chat, talk it up with each other, get excited for the game, and then we'll be live at 7:45. We got a big game tonight. But I wanted to go live, hang out with you guys. I know a lot of you guys got the game on your mind. Wanted to hopefully pump you guys up a bit more, talk about the game. And now the talking goes out the window. Now it's up for the play. It's up to the players. It's up to the players and the coaches to produce, and may the better team win. We'll find out. Hester says, Gate City Sports Talk, great channel. I appreciate that. You're talking about Gate City. Well, hopefully you like my channel too. I know you do. You're in here a lot. Guy had experience scouting, DJ, and has experience coaching in the offseason camps with Coach Cutcliffe. Check it out. All right, I'll have to check it out. I don't know if I'll have an opportunity to check it out before the game because I'm going to be watching the Chiefs. But I try to watch as much content as I can. Whenever I can, whenever people give me suggestions to further educate my opinion. So I'll try to check it out. But guys, thank you to everybody for being here. If you guys haven't done so, check that video out as he suggests. But if you're watching the game, enjoy it. I know you're watching the Giant game. If you're watching the Jaguar game, enjoy it. And then we'll get ready for the Giants at 8:15, the main event. I'm really looking forward to it, guys. Let's go Giants. Barkley made a hype video, Charles Barkley. I think it's on like Instagram and people post it all over Twitter. But guys, be good. Have a good one. Oh, let me get one more. MI Giants 26 says, let's go hunting. Let's get some birds. Let's go.